Okay, welcome to session 117, or Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 3 of our Tuesday night campaign.
Sorry, which session on thingy?
117.
Yeah.
It's now older than Bilbo's going away party. And it is Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 3. And the date of it is AC 1011, month 4, day 1. Still the same date as the last session.
I was going to say the last session was same as that, yeah.
Okay, so last session was all about what options were available for you. And we had a whole lot of stuff to go through, and the characters decided that they wanted to try to get the elves on side, take the weird down into the Underdark, Shadowlands, get that investigation done, go to the Dwarven King, ask for help there, then potentially travel into Yalarum, ask for help there, down into Theatus, and then backwards towards Karamikos and Fire Shires.
Yes. A reasonable plan which will take us, the entire campaign.
And then sometime during that, duck out to the Isle of Dread to complete Lani's quest.
Yes.
Or if you still got a chance.
Yeah, true. Which means it might be worthwhile doing that on the way to 5 Shires. So go out Isle of Dread, come back 5 Shires. It might be better timing.
You might also get access to an airship that Redrian has given to Wednesday night's group, which travels at, I think it was 300 to 500 feet a move.
The fact that it can move 24 hours a day, I don't care if it moves as fast as an ox cart, it's still better. Especially since it doesn't have to take account of terrain.
Yes. It also can height most vehicles and outdistance most vehicles. And they had learnt it was something that had been reconfigured from Nithian design.
Oh, okay.
It was a Nithian skyship.
It's going to be interesting decorations.
The decorations don't look Nithian because it's been modified over the centuries.
It's been around for that long.
And so it actually was working during the Nithian Empire. And it outdoes all other skyships at the moment.
So they've got one that everybody wants.
But it's been given to some heroes of Alphatia who have retired and are going into the war effort.
Right.
So the Alphatian people are unwilling to take it by force, and mostly unable to.
They don't want to try and fail.
Well, the thing is, if they try too hard, it'll blow up. Or they'll destroy it somehow. So they've got to be really careful how it's done.
And they're using it for diplomatic envoys at this stage.
Which means anyone going against them is going to be kicking themselves in the shins.
Is this true?
And they also found out that the Alphatian Planet Task Force has been destroyed. That has been protecting the planet for excursions from planet space. So that was what was wiped out when the Alphatian fleet was taken out, because they had come back to Alphatia.
Sorry, can you say that again but a little bit more slowly?
The Alphatian Planet Task Force.
Planar Task Force.
They blew up the Space Force.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who blew up the Space Force?
We did. Whoops. Well, actually, no.
When did
Wednesday.
Wednesday did that.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay.
With the help of Tuesday.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's...
we're the ones who threw them the bomb. Actually, it was...
I think it's fair to say the Regulatory Investigation Bureau blew it up.
Yeah.
Combined forces.
As a cooperative effort.
Yes.
To be honest, Calcrix will blame it all on Dimitri because she's heard about what he gets up to.
And they found out about that from one of the personnel on the ship, as she used to serve in that fleet.
Oh, okay.
No.
So, learning that some of the ramifications of various acts are going to be long felt.
Yeah, well.
And now that there's no one keeping extraterrestrials from encroaching into the planet.
Yeah, that's a problem as far as Calcrix.
But of course,
It is.
you've also got to look at that's been a long-term effect of something that happened a couple of years ago to prevent the fact that if we hadn't have destroyed the fleet a couple of years ago, Biathas and Glacier would already be destroyed.
Yep.
Yes.
That is technically true.
So,
It's the snowball effect of what happens elsewhere that most of them haven't actually thought about. And hearing from survivors of various things, this is what the survivors talking about, and the gunner on that ship is basically afraid of fire.
Oh, okay.
Has a full-blown phobia about fire.
Sounds
Because she was in the middle of the inferno that destroyed her
Oh, I was
fleet.
gonna say.
Let's not tell her.
And she was talking to the people who had actually done it.
Yeah.
that guy, it was a bit of a concern for the Wednesday group when we were the passengers to go over to Aphasia, and we got there and found these giant statues of us.
Right.
Well, they actually had the equivalent of amber imprisoned bodies of those characters, because they did time skips but left their bodies behind. So technically, the people who destroyed the fleet bodies were recovered,
Yeah.
but they were unable to question them because their souls had moved on.
Oh, yeah, so it was quite interesting going back there.
It depends how you do it. Because your basic speak with dead spell says you're not speaking with the soul, you're speaking with the spirit.
But the
soul
spirit
doesn't have to be there.
I know, but the spirit has to be accessible. So if something destroys the spirit, you can't even speak with dead on the body. There are a couple of gods that can destroy the spirit.
Yeah. There's also the fact you've got to be talking to something who's got a mouth. So yeah, if you want to be rude to somebody,
You take the jaw.
or just go in and smash the jaw with a hammer after you kill them.
Oh. Yeah.
I know this, it sounds nasty, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you don't want the dead people
Yeah.
talking to
True.
you. The thing to remember though, actually this is one of the, I think possibly one of the reasons they, in 5th edition, they took out the spell Make Whole, because it's so bloody useful.
Because they would cast it on dead bodies so they can talk to them.
Because dead body is an item. Repairs dead body, and it actually repairs the dead body, because it'll actually replace small parts. So someone who's not actually resurrectable
Can be made resurrected.
can be made resurrectable by using Make Whole.
Yeah. I remember that workaround.
Yeah. And all you have to do is go, oh, they happen to have 2 spells in. Because Make Whole is only second level.
Yep.
But it's just so damn useful for a lot of other things.
So that's the quest that Wednesday night we're off to do.
Yeah.
They intend to come back via other methods, other things, and do other stuff.
Yes.
It's potentially able to get Karamikos on site by doing this mission and the 5 Shires,
Yeah.
because it turns out that they are brokering a peace treaty between Alphatia and Karamikos, which excludes them from the Thyatus Alphatian War, because they are a vassal state of Thyatus.
Yeah.
And
basically aiming to recognise Karamikos as no longer a vassal state of Thyatus.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, there's a
like them.
yeah, there's a lot of political manoeuvring that goes on during wars like this.
And this is a chance for Wednesday's night characters to become part of a kingdom instead of just a Grand Archery.
Yes.
And also gives the 5 Shires more reason to join the war.
Yes. Yes, you did mention that one. And the other one, of course, is it gives them a reason to join the war, and also therefore gives them extra political power because they're participating. So that has its uses there as well.
Okay, and Friday night have gone to the Northern Reaches to see if they can petition with the sponsors of each of the elemental cults that used to belong to Alphatia.
These are the elemental princes?
Yes, and so each of these cults were Alphatia shock troops. The ones that combine magic and martial might into wiping out any who they directed them
To get in the way, yes.
And some of them were unlikely to stop fighting once they started. So that they left Alphatia before they were directed into the war. And so they're wanting to find out some information from them because it turns out that the sponsors of each of the cults has the ability to speak to the Primal Titans.
And if we can calm the Primal Titans down and get some normalcy there, we can forestay...
we can persuade them to hold off, so yes, forestall quite a lot of
economic and food and, you know, if the seasons are out, then food is not being produced and starvation and stuff.
They have discovered that those sponsors were also the parents of their dragons.
Yeah.
Because the gods have one of those wibbly-wobbly relationship with stuff. And most of, I think all of the sponsors are elemental lords who never actually were born.
Okay.
So they were always there.
Yes. That's right, they're around. You own all of it. Yes. It's all yours.
And that pretty much has them tied up for quite a while because now they have to go on various dungeon crawls to prove that they are worthy to ask a question.
5, 1 for each element.
And if they, the other choice they have is they need to challenge the head of each order to, in a fight to the death.
Well, they don't have to.
Oh, that was the other option.
Oh,
it was either they do the dungeon crawl with the understanding they get to ask a question if they succeed, because that proves they're worthy of asking a question, or they challenge the leader of the cult to a fight to the death one-on-one.
You are very loud tonight, Darian.
And it turned out the leader of the cult had a major artifact.
Yes, they do.
I was going to say, he's all yours.
He's just Suki.
Yeah, he just wants attention right now because we're all sitting at the table. Yeah. Okay, so table, Therion distraction aside.
And so, yes, so that's what happened with those characters.
Right. So we're up to date on what the other two groups are now.
And
so our
you have...
No?
Well, it's... They've been told what they've gone off to go do, not whether they succeeded or not.
Okay,
so we can maintain reasonable communication with each other now because Dimitri's got a sending stone with Bull and with one of the Friday night groups. And of course we've got the staffs, like regular staff, so he can be passing information if he feels it's necessary.
Yeah, we can all communicate with each other if we need to.
Yeah. Yes, by the way, I'll make a note about the comment you got there on Alphon, from what you were talking about last week.
What's that?
My sister has warned me about
that's right.
elves,
but
she hasn't said anything about Feywild Christmas.
Right.
I have no problem, I have little problem with them staying here as a refuge.
Yeah.
Although I will extract a deal from each and every one.
It's a good idea.
To pay for that refuge, do not screw with the other residents.
Yes.
So you might, the satyrs might not understand you properly.
I will be very careful about my wording, and I'll specify to each particular type of critter.
Do not interfere.
Because it is satyr, well,
and the nymphs.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful about your wording.
Oh, of course. But hey, this is one of the smartest people in the setting who's not an immortal. Actually, he is the smartest person in the setting who's not an immortal.
Yes.
Or equal smartest with other people the same stat.
I don't think I've got that level of intelligence.
And he's a well-practiced and trained diplomat. He ain't going to make a mistake in something like that.
Okay, so yes, you've been told that they're having a awards ceremony for some of you the next day.
Cool. Is this the one that the other groups avoided?
Yep.
Is this one that we necessarily need to go to?
You don't need to go to.
Because don't we have to get our butts moving towards the elves?
Well, every little bit of distraction either gives you more story or more delay. Or both.
So what are these awards?
They're giving people survival awards.
Survival awards.
Oh, okay.
Because survivors of various battles.
Yes, so service in protection of the domain. If you survive it, that's worth being given a medal for.
So are these awards being given as kind of like a morale boost?
Partly because there's been such a loss of people in life.
Yeah, that they're trying to celebrate the positives, for lack of a better word. I guess what I'm trying to determine is this something that we should spend time waiting around to partake in? Would it be, would it be contributing to the morale to such an extent that it's worth delaying the day to be here, or should we start moving towards our goal? Because we should not be wasting time.
I would suspect that one day here or there is unlikely to make the difference.
Yeah. And
as I said, as great General Napoleon once found, people and the soldiers will fight so much harder for a piece of tin and a tacky ribbon than they might for many causes.
I don't mind being here and staying here to boost morale. I'm just asking the question. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
Well, certainly, Jack Nimble would suggest that I'm assuming these are Darrican awards that are being handed out for Gimblin.
It is awards given out by the Darrican rulers.
Yeah.
And I suspect that the people who have been fighting with the PCs in the wars would be very pleased to receive awards from those PCs potentially.
Yes.
As you were some of the
heroes.
leading forces, they not having Drachnamar there in particular would be a slap in the faces of those who served.
Yes.
Because he was technically one of the generals.
Yeah.
Whereas the others were just leaders, not necessarily assigned to them. Drachnamar was someone that they actually turned to.
Yeah. So it's especially well worthwhile him staying.
So the others
we'll all stay together.
The others had the ability to duck away without people going, well, it would have been nice to have seen them.
Yes.
Well, of course they would have appreciated to receive the medal from Dimitri, but
there was a reason why Wednesday's group was shuffled off very quickly. They didn't get the choice of the award ceremony. They got told they were going.
Yeah.
Yes, well.
They didn't even get told the options. It's like, well, all these things are happening. By the way, you're going here.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, okay.
Oh, the ship's waiting. Off you go.
Yeah, they are also the only nobles of Karamikos that are working in Daraka.
Okay.
They are literally nobles of Karamikos. That's where their domains are.
Good
Yeah.
question.
See whether they don't give them a choice.
Any of my D20s still in the dust trap?
Possibly.
Not that I'm expecting combat at these ceremonies.
Yes, you've got one of
So they could be
them.
skill rolls.
I was going to say I thought something was missing.
Have they done their time, or you let him out of parole?
Well, they've been there for 2 weeks nearly.
Yeah, I was going to say they've been there for 2 weeks. Do you want your little fiery 6 out if you need it?
Serve their time.
I'll fix those up at some point. So.
Okay, so
Just so there's a threat for these dice here.
overnight, Drachnamai has been given a book of names and awards.
We're not doing character introductions or summaries. I don't
and
mind.
well, I had actually forgotten because I've been so caught up in everything else.
Yeah.
So we'll have Jeremy will introduce his character first.
Oh, okay, well, evening all, I'm playing Drachnima, the Atruaghin tribesman who started out as a humble policeman and has since developed and selected by Atruaghin to become the shaman of the clan and chief of the dragon clan, and therefore selected as clan chief and since. And then when the war with the master came forward, Garrican appointed him general of their forces,
Yes.
as discussed with the fact that he's the general. So
Of one of their
this is why
armies.
he's hanging around to present awards to those worthy fighters of the battles.
So that there are 5 armies of Daraka, and Drachnamai was assigned one of them to look after.
Oh, okay. Well, that's-
Because he's special. Will
Well,
be a special?
It was the one that was centered around Fort Ainslberry, which was right against the Atruaghin forces.
yeah.
Having a general who understands the Atruaghin was considered a necessity.
Yes. Well, that's fair.
So he's special.
Particularly with the Atruaghin nibbling at the like the long side without necessarily paying attention to them again. And they want to come on there and say, no, you stay over there, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so most of the awards are given to survivors of the fort, and it's the award is recognised as the Battle of Fort Hazelberry or Broken Fort as a symbol, because the fort did get destroyed in the combat.
He did.
So survivors of the Broken Fort are of the army of over 1,000, less than 100 survived.
Wow. That's
As most of them
very significant loss.
fell in the retreat or the when the fort went down itself.
Yeah.
You can't
Certainly
really-
Drachnima will be spending a considerable part of the night when he actually provided the book of the award for the next day, aiming to memorise as much as possible. In some cases, you could hopefully be refreshing his memories, considering the fact that these are the remnants of the ones that he was fighting with.
And it does even have a list of the fallen.
Well, yeah, you'd expect to have some sort of monument that's got a list of the names.
Some of them fell at the northern fort, Nano, but not as many fell there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's basically awards from both Fort Ainslberry and from Fort Lakeside.
And from the rest of the nation of retreating, but majority of the ones they're asking Drachnamai to hand out are all about the survivors of Fort Hazelberry.
Okay.
Because important to give the person who was there and survived to, as they credit you with the survival of those who survived, because they didn't think anyone would make it out.
Yes.
No.
So we get.
Drachnima definitely credits the courage and sacrifice of all those who were present.
So you making a speech?
Okay, so yes, you do find that each of you has been given an option to speak on behalf of everything.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely, and
Yep.
I will help people prepare their speeches if they
Yep.
wish to speak. So you'll be using my, at least, assistance from my persuasion skill.
Yep. Well, just let us know when it's our turn.
Yep. And at the table today we have Paul, who has Luell.
Who is... we're all several things at the moment, but I'm party pretty boy, healer,
Okay.
diplomat, I'm not going to say artillery piece, but...
I think pretty boy is your most important time.
Yeah, probably. Well, given I'm a diplomat. But yes, walking turret and font of good cookery recipes.
Good recipes are hard to find. It is worthwhile having someone who's got some decent ones.
Especially when I can make absolutely anything.
And Luell was delivered a bunch of speeches to check and rewrite if necessary.
That's fine.
He rewrote them all.
And it's basically for about 20 odd different people, plus checking correspondence between nations. And
Right, this is where I'm going to use my minions for some of this.
Good thing you have minions
Yes.
who are capable of.
because the Darken Diplomatic Corps has inducted you into their fraternity.
Oh, well, of course, because I'm a diplomatologist and I should be ranked 3 by now because I've done about a third of my most recent downtimes. So I should be circle
Circle 2.
Third thing, circle 2.
Yeah.
So well up there, considering it's more and more rarefied the further you go. And yeah.
So
they're basically going, hi, let's try out the new guy. Here,
Let's
do this.
Let's give you practice.
as you find that you've also been assigned to help guide the various speakers into position and.
So I'm doing diplomacy on diplomats.
Yep.
Of course.
And generals and.
Fine. I have. Fortunately, I do have spells for this. That are useful.
This is why you got the spells.
Yes. One of them is a really amusing Elven one, which gives me a bonus on charisma-based checks that lasts like, if I cast it at higher than base level, it's several hours worth. And it's basically an extra expertise die.
Which is very useful.
This is useful.
On top of, I've already got both expertise and specialization in persuading people. And the highest charisma you'll ever see on an Immortal.
You realise that about 90% of the people you're shepherding have absolutely no idea what the term diplomacy means.
That's fine. I will give them hints on the way. There's more than just physical guidance involved in this.
Which is why they basically shanghaied you into it.
Yes. Plus, I'm the new guy.
You'd be less new, you've been around for a little while, but now you're...
Well, that's the thing. I did start in Darrakan as a diplomat.
Quite, yeah.
So
I was going to say that's
But now you're starting the duties of a diplomat.
I'm doing a real one. I'm not junior anymore.
The juniors get told to assist a person assisting people.
Yes.
And now you're doing the actual assisting people.
Yes.
I wonder if he knows Zal's diplomat boyfriend.
Quite possibly.
Given how
He is one of the assistants of assistants.
yeah, and given both my background and the fact that I'm explicitly making myself well known amongst basically everybody.
Well, you would have then heard
I've
of
heard of a lot of people.
one of the diplomats in training has opened an orphanage and has started taking in any children who are orphaned, no matter who they're from.
I believe his name
Make a note of that one. I'll use him.
But I'll double
Yes.
check his name for you.
Yes.
And has actually built an orphanage over the winter period.
This is what happens when you start building a land.
Yeah. Yes.
That's not even
As
half
that
of
is
it.
the love interest of a Friday night character.
Yep, that's fine. Given I can't keep elves in my domain at present, any orphans I end up with are going in that direction.
They already have a couple of elves because
Yeah, but they're going to get more.
the elves don't have a community to raise them anymore.
No. No, and it's going to be, look, if this is a holding thing, because otherwise you're going to have them for longer than you'll be in business, I'll take them back off you once this is over. And possibly any others that you can't find parents for. I will do that, I'll take them in.
The rumours they have even bandits giving that area a wide berth.
Because bandits get beaten in order to stop them playing with children, yes.
Oh, bandits seem to be afraid of the area.
Yeah. Yes.
Something to do with strange looking Rakasta on the area.
Yeah, that'd be something to avoid. Definitely something to avoid. Yes. Oh, another thing to add to the dealing with the Feywild people and talking to them properly. Not only can I get lots of lovely bits on the walls, I've also got advantage. So I've got an extra, got 3 levels of expertise, and I've also got advantage because I've got an invocation on dealing with the Fey courts.
Which then brings us around to Ariad.
Anyway,
I'm in the middle of looking up a name and we'll finally get round to it.
well, should have done it 5 minutes ago. I got sidetracked doing
Yes.
role-playing bits of me rather than introduction.
Is she on?
She's on.
She's on? She's,
Yeah, there we go.
alright, there
That's
you go.
just cute.
Trying to manipulate the poor. Hello. My name is Calgrix. I am a white dragon, mostly. Just ignore, like, all of those black and blue scales. They mean nothing. They're no connection to the Queen of Darkness, Lady of Shadows, and an unnamed dragon who's now out of existence. He used to champion justice, merciful justice, and wisdom. His name's not Bahamut, and she doesn't have his shield on her chest. No one knows or recognizes that. It's not going to be something ominous in possible years to come, depending on how things progress. With the coming of Takesis and Bahamut into the world, and Calgrix having 3 of the 5 elements already, and potentially becoming the avatar of the very dragon she does not want to represent, but I think is also like her mum or her great-grandmum. Mum, yeah.
She's a relation. Doesn't mean you have to like them.
To sum up her relationship between Bahamut and Takesis is she loves her parents, but she doesn't want them living in the same realm with her.
That's fair.
And doesn't want to represent them.
Also fair.
No, she doesn't want to spend her time representing her mother. If she's going to represent anyone, it'll be herself.
Yeah.
Calcrix is a large white dragon. She usually appears with a little plant looking like creature, except the plant is black, unless she decides to paint herself up in colours, which she sometimes does. After she's finished painting any of Calcrix's black and blue scales white. Her name is Eep. We've recently found out she's from the Fey Dark, and that she is allowed to hand out all the cookies she likes, with the only obligation being that you can't serve an evil god of entropy.
Yes,
Exactly.
Specifically exactly.
And that means Anzantiothel can't reap your soul in a specific amount of time after you've had a cookie.
It's a case of reject the dark side, eat a cookie.
Yes. We're going to make sure it's at least once a month.
I think that kind of sums up Calprix.
And Calprix finds that a group of Dragonborn delegation have caught up with her and are discussing various politics about trying to set up the coffee trade to her domain, as well as making sure that enough of it gets to the front line to keep the soldiers awake enough to fight the master.
Awake and
Healthy.
with that little bit of health and resilience and healing
What would be interesting
that's imbued in the coffee. What would be interesting?
is having the coffee altered the same way the biscuits are, so that if they drink the coffee, they're also proof against Xavier's powers.
Well,
Or
they'll probably get
some.
they'll probably get a cookie with every.
Well, no, that's true. They'll get the cookies as well.
Yeah, they
You're
would.
giving them out.
May even have the seal of approval from Ape on all of them.
Probably they've got like a. I'm gonna say for the setting, each cookie on the front looks like a normal cookie, but when you turn it over, there's like this little sort of leaf imprint on the back,
Yes.
as if Eve has marked every single one of them, and she may well have
Oh, she will have done.
in the baking process.
The thing.
Yeah.
She's literally imprinting. it.
So you can put that in your official notes
Yeah.
that the cookies have got a leaf imprint on the back.
Yeah.
It's trademark on behalf of Calprix.
Yes.
I can't remember it off the top of my head yet, but I finally got a working title for Calprix's coffee.
Cool.
So I've got a Dragon Ball delegation wanting to consult me about trade agreements and distribution of coffee.
And also talking about how they've managed to get your coffee house brewery up and running.
Oh, so the coffee brewery. God.
The place where they cook all the beans
Yeah.
is now running.
The
Coffee roast.
coffee production. Yeah. The roasting house is up and going. We'll go with that.
Yes.
As is the inn, and they've also managed to get your basic estate up and running.
This is really good news. Is there pictures?
They give diagrams and stuff, so you've got a mansion on your...
He's a Dragonborn. If they don't draw pictures like Drazzle does, Calprix is going to be very disappointed.
Not as good as Drazzle.
It doesn't have to be as good as Drazzle, she just wants to see pictures.
Same style.
They can be stick figures for all Calprix cares, as long as they've tried.
They will have tried,
Yeah.
and they have much designs and maps and plans for the future.
Yeah.
They also have a what they did to a bunch of people who tried to vandalize your building.
Oh, what happened to these people?
They introduced them to the highest peak without a way down.
Oh, so Dread Dragon Peak?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Which has now got some people on it going, I'm starving. I can't get down.
Because they tried to offer them a close view of the landmark.
Yes. Starve or fall off. Pick. Yes.
And then there was a scandal involving a couple of your people.
What kind of scandal?
That's up to you.
She's
Oh.
intrigued. Oh.
Because you actually had the Kingdom event, political scandal,
Oh, a political scandal.
More fun.
that you managed to avoid having any repercussions except for the infamy.
Oh, okay.
So you let it happen on your land, but you weren't involved.
What kind of scandal could it be something to do with my dwarves and gnomes working together?
Could even be you've got kobolds in there.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay. That is a good one because I was talking to you about having kobolds.
Because as far as
warriors.
most of the other races are concerned, kobolds are evil creatures they don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
Yes.
The,
Just an unpleasant
The
culture.
moment you step beneath the archway of my region, which isn't a huge region admittedly at the moment, is the moment that you must leave those preconceptions behind.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for the suggestion of working in
That's
the
okay.
kobolds into the storyline.
It's racism is illegal.
I guess this means it's only a matter of time until they find out I've got tieflings as well.
Right. Yeah, that would be.
Well, the
Actually.
Dragon region, which is where I am on Mount Dread, is going to be a known refuge for outcasts. So if you're outcast or orphaned, you're welcomed onto my land as long as
Fey
you.
tiefling.
Yep.
No, there aren't many tieflings in the world.
No.
Because
half of them are going to be here.
Yeah.
they're considered cursed and hated by
Well,
the
of course, because
population.
they look like part demon.
And
Fair enough.
this
Also
was
half race.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's the thing too.
this was Calcrix's plans before she
Yeah.
met the Queen
Okay.
of Darkness, but she
Yeah.
has a feeling the Queen of Darkness will approve.
Because it is part of her belief system is look after those other people have ignored.
Yes.
So you're actually more aligned with the Queen of Darkness than you are with everyone else.
As long as they've made an agreement not to harm anyone who is incumbent on the land, they're welcome there.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to invade in that, well, you know, if you happen to cross wrong with, I don't know, an undead guy who's managed to make a home in one of the groves, then
And
Yeah.
the
that's your problem.
and the Dragonborn have been talking about how they can build a road across the mountains
Yes.
and make it a connecting point to go across into Karamikos from the western side instead of having to go all the way to the eastern side.
That's
Is-
going to have a huge
Is this going to be
economic
with
impact.
that that township that you mentioned, which I don't have the
That's
name written?
It's okay. It's actually going to be more. It's going to be almost on the border between the Five Shires and
I think.
Karamikos,
Okay.
Yeah.
but heading down near Dimitri's domain.
Thus, the discussion about trade agreements, because we are looking at offering exclusive access to the now limited coffee beans, because the military pretty much get 90% of what
They're
we've
also
got.
talking about trying to incorporate the other major peak in the region.
Oh,
Cool.
But of course, that's on the Karamikos side. I'm sure they won't mind. Is what the Dragonborn is saying. They don't use it yet.
I'm very
Someone's
happy
gonna be
with this
playing
progress,
They're going to need a diplomat.
because we have one.
Yeah.
I spent pretty much most of my money on the people
Oh, no.
who are.
You spent half the funds you were given to set up your
Yep.
stronghold
Yep.
on your people.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's it on the.
She has a
people
lot
who
of
are-
experts.
Yeah, because I'm running kind of a
Yeah.
refuge type
That
place.
was actually the question I had. The effect of if I'm working on my domain,
Mm-hmm.
personal domain, of course, not the larger area. What is the effective monetary input that I give it by spending a week doing the bloody fabricate spell? Because I do that as a ritual, so I can do it all day.
So doing
It
it
could
like
get boring, but
does it have a? I think as a ritual it would have a monetary cost.
no.
I-
Sorry,
we'll
not
most-
directly, but you have the it doesn't supply any materials,
Mhm.
but I get raw
I
materials and
learned that
parts
spell.
and turn it into items.
Yeah, I learned that spell too.
Yeah.
It's a good spell.
Yes.
So before we just finish up, Calcrix, as soon as she hears about magic, she sticks her head down here and she looks at all the Dragonborn, all in eyes. Go, so, what turned out to be the result? How many gnomes on bunks could we fit in each room of the mansion?
Well, the mansion is for your advisors at this stage,
but
so they can fit the entirety of your advisors in the mansion and still have space for you.
Yes.
is there a room full of gnomes?
Yes,
How
Fit
many
it-
gnomes did we fit in the room?
all of them.
All
It's
of them.
3 floors. Come on, remember, this is like a 15 foot or 12, 15 foot ceiling. Gnomes are this tall. That's a 3-story house in a room.
Calcrix gives a delighted sort of She's really happy with this.
And they give a diagram of mechanical contraptions the gnomes built into the room to make it easier for them to get the stuff.
Get to their
And
boxes
so far
things.
they haven't squished anyone, but they come close.
And it gets very clanky around bedtime.
This is awesome. Okay, I'm very happy with this move.
So they
This
asked
news.
the Dragonborn to do the crank for them. Because they don't actually have a machine built in there to do it.
Yeah. Well,
And the
I'll get
Dragonborn
there.
are willing to go, or just stop there before it crushes.
Which is
someone.
why no one's been crushed yet.
Exactly.
Alrighty, I'm very pleased.
One meter doesn't know to stop.
Happy to
That can be fixed, we say.
to continue working with them, and I'll also take some time to work on my speech for the next day.
And they do say that now that you've managed to grow to the size of a town, that they can start looking at expanding the reach of your town. Because while it was a village, they could only work on the one area.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm very happy with this pro.
Though they are
progress.
reluctant to expand too fast, because the further you expand, the more expensive it becomes to maintain.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we need to
Yes.
take our time and make sure everything's set in place
Mm.
because we need stability,
Yeah.
particularly in times of the master.
Yeah.
Although progress on getting to a point of expansion will be necessary because people will be attracted to our area because of the master. So
Yep.
And there are many races that love being up in the mountains.
And away from all those civilized people who want to use them as targets.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's precisely it.
So that was how you guys spent your night
Yeah.
and evenings dealing with.
I was really busy.
It's a good thing I produced coffee specifically made for when I'm up all night doing things.
So technically, you were all busy with very important things.
Yes. Let's see, that works out to. I'm just going to make a sort of generalised roll on duplicity, especially since I assist.
You had an assist?
Actually, I don't need assist.
There would be quite a few assistants coming in and out helping you.
Yes.
I see,
Yes,
that's
but
what you mean
but
by
an
an
assist only
assist.
gives advantage, and I've already got advantage. Actually, no, with these people I don't have specific
Do I need
advantage,
to
so
do
the
any
assistance will be
rolls?
necessary.
Not with them, because they were talking with
Yeah.
you, making sure that you're happy with progress so far
Yes.
and keeping you informed of what they've been doing.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. So I've got I've got an expertise dice, and then an expertise dice again, and another one again from the spell that I'm
So that means it
I'm
increases
using
to a
D8.
D8, yes.
Yes.
Which comes in handy.
And I've got advantage, so I roll this one twice. But I don't roll this twice.
Yes, it's just added to whichever is higher.
Yes. You can roll that twice. Oh, that's nice. Oh, okay.
I was going to say, I presume
Oh, it's over 30.
Jeremy Drachnamer doesn't need to roll for his thing either.
No.
He's perfect at everything he does, right?
Yeah, just ask. Yeah. Martin?
Yep.
33.
Sounds
As a sort
good.
of generalised, I'm being diplomatic and organising people.
You do think you're getting noticed by quite a few people as you're doing stuff around?
I would expect so. I've managed to get a bunch of people with no practice doing this, organising people who've got no practice doing diplomacy and little knowledge of doing so, apart from being polite.
And being thrown into it at the last moment like they always do.
Being thrown in at the last moment, and I've got a bunch of assistants who I was given this morning, and got them organised, got these people organised. I'm being polite about it, I'm being elegant about it, I'm standing in the middle looking like I'm in 100% control. Because right at the moment, I am, and doing it effectively.
Okay, so with the arrival of morning, you hear lots of sounds of fanfares, an occasional firework going off, which scares a lot of people who are out on the battlefields of late. So there's a few people with
as a way of contributing to this fanfare, Calcrix might use a couple of the fancy, like dancing light type spells to like kind of not confetti, but like, you know,
lights above the city.
Yeah, the closest you can get to dragon fireworks.
There's an actual fireworks spell.
Yeah.
Which is specifically for this purpose.
Yeah, I don't have that, but you know.
But there are people in the city who do.
There are people in the city who do. Well, you're a wizard now, aren't you? Not a sorcerer. Yeah. Go and get a scroll of it, learn it.
Yeah.
Though it is fire related when she's been going away from fire related.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The closest I've got to fire is I've got a ring that lets me breathe fire once.
You can do
get me a scroll of it. I'll learn it, and I'll just stand here and do
But
it.
I could do an electric lights display with my lightning breath
type
thing. So I'll do something like that.
Now there's a display I could do.
Okay, so
just shoot off eldritch blasts with different elemental effects on them. Because 300-foot range. I haven't got a spell sniper, which
you do realise if you start going off doing those displays, you won't be able to help people with the diplomatic.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm doing the diplomacy. I'm not doing the.
Yeah.
I didn't mention, but yeah.
I just as a part of them coming in and starting up things.
So it's become a citywide holiday to allow people to have a day of rest after all the things that have happened last year.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
And it's being paid for by the Council of Princes.
Oh.
Well, that's very generous of them.
They are merchant princes, so
ridiculously rich.
Part of their belief is hoarding wealth is not a good reason for itself.
Really hoping at least one of my Dragonborn delegation organised for them to buy Calcrix's chocolates to distribute.
Oh, that's worth. So I like it. People who realise that the best way to actually have wealth is to use it, because wealth comes from the mobility of money, not big piles of it.
Well, it is a nation that deals with money moving hands. If it doesn't move, it's not. It's a wasted thing.
Yeah, it's a lump of metal. It's not money.
So that's why they're merchant princes. Money is a count, but it has to be useful.
Yes, but they're not mercantilists. They actually know what they're doing.
And which is why this is the wealthiest nation in the region.
Yes.
And they also
spend money.
And they don't believe of anyone working for no wage. So slavery or convicts are unheard of in this nation.
Cool. Another one, very useful.
So it's an actual illegal practice here.
Yeah.
Unlike other nations nearby.
Yes, that's fair enough. They have enough ethics to go, slavery is stealing someone's life from them without killing them.
They consider it stealing money.
Yeah, well, it is stealing money. You're stealing their life, stealing that person's livelihood by not paying them. And the middleman that you bought the slave from, he doesn't actually work. So that's wrong twice.
And Redrian has been put on the Council of Merchant Princes. Up until now, he's been advising them.
Yeah.
So did you say Draknam has been put on?
No,
Redrian.
Redrian is now officially one of the Merchant Princes of Darrakin, even though he's been acting as one for quite a while now.
Yes, but now he's openly one.
He's spread enough money around.
They've finally accepted him, despite the fact that what he nominally does is he runs a pub and a few other things.
Well,
but now he's been former opening what he's doing.
Well, he runs an intelligence gathering network.
Well, yeah, that's the sort of thing you want to keep secret.
Sorry, what's the official name of the
Merchant Prince.
He's now a merchant.
Merchant Prince of Dragon.
Yeah, on their council of princes,
Yeah.
which is considered a high honour for anyone.
Yes. Well, accepted as sufficiently rich to be accepted amongst those guys.
That doesn't matter how much money you have. You still got to prove yourself to be in the interests of the nation to be
Yes,
accepted.
but you've also got to be rich enough for people to count you as a merchant prince, not just an effective person. Because otherwise they'd have thousands of them.
Well, they do have lesser titles, but they're the only ones who sit on that council.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, that's part of the celebrations, is people announcing a new position has been filled on the council.
Mm-hmm. We cheer because, well, hey, Medria.
But like all the other merchant princes, no one exactly knows what the merchant princes do.
They get rich by doing merchant prince stuff. Some of them don't like you to pry.
Whereas one of them actually runs the diplomatic corps.
I'm not entirely surprised. It's Daracon. Everything's run by the people with money.
What's the name of the fort that Drachnum is presenting?
Fort Ainslebury. So
Ainslebury.
ANSELBURY.
Thank
And they are having a parade before the award ceremony of survivors of the conflict.
Yeah.
And
you. He is really happy to be seeing this parade.
Mm-hmm.
And Calcrix has been given the banner to lead in front if he so wishes.
She will.
Because you are a symbol to a lot of the survivors. They are quite taken with the dragon leader.
It'll go well with her jazz wings.
Mm.
She'll make copious use of while waving banner around.
As it is the probably the final time they believe the banner of Fort Ainslebury will be shown.
And
Right.
in a mini-me moment, he has a similar banner and she is waving it around too. But nobody can probably see her because she's tiny.
And it's probably just all black. Because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Right.
Positive.
And Luell and Dimitri have been given a position near the end of the parade, so all the people get to march by them
Mm-hmm.
before they do the award ceremony. Well, they don't need you to march, but they want the marchers to all see you.
Yes. Because we're particularly special. Well, hey, given what we've been doing. So I actually get to stand there for like over an hour and chat quietly and carefully to Dimitri while people are going past us.
Pretty much.
And making sure Dimitri waves.
Drachnima.
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 Yeah, Drachnima.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You said
And what
Dimitri.
nobody
Sorry, my
understands,
mistake.
what nobody knows or realizes is that Drachnima's got earplugs in. I'm just being cheeky.
The thing is, that's valid because I have an ability to make someone I speak to understand what I'm saying, even when there's impediments to understanding, like no language in common.
Yeah.
And it doesn't specify that they don't have to be, that they can't have ear blocks in.
Perk,
So
you
I
hear
can-
this.
So
Perk,
I
you hear
can-
that.
Well, it's more, I can make myself understood by using hand gestures while I'm talking. And you can understand what I mean. Because my ability says that's how it works.
Calcrix whispers to Drachnima, "There's no escape." Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, the thing is, it's still a quiet time for him.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
teasing.
It's just that he's being communicated with.
Okay, there are a few awards that are done before you guys are brought up.
Mm-hmm.
There are quite a few fresh-faced or grizzled veterans who have been given lieutenants or higher commissions.
Cool.
They look as if they've never held a sword before or haven't touched one in about 50 odd years.
Yeah, well, it's ceremonial.
I know that
no. They're the ones who are available to fill the slots.
They have completely refilled the army that had been decimated with inexperienced or people who have retired.
Right. Thank you for your service. Welcome to the fun. Sergeants, take them away and train them.
They're doing field training.
That's a great way to recycle armor.
Unfortunately, they've got to put feet on the ground to keep the master busy.
Yes. Right. So let's get some people who aren't really worth very much and just push them into the meat grinder.
Oh, they're hoping they survive.
Yeah.
But they lost so many people, and they lost their strongest army.
Yes.
If it's allowed, they suddenly get their reward. Aldrix is standing quietly off in the background. She's not doing anything, but Eve is handing out a cookie as they go by.
Yeah, well, these are the ones getting their commissions.
Yeah. Just making sure your soul will not be eaten by ants Eotle.
As you see, most of the grizzled veterans are the ones getting captainships or higher, as the fresh-faced ones are getting either sergeants or lieutenants.
Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't give them sergeants. Lieutenants, yes. Sergeants have to know what they're doing.
But some of these, they don't have the options.
Oh yeah.
They don't have enough sergeants to go around.
They've got green sergeants with greener troops.
Lost like 10,000 soldiers. So very serious side to all the fun and games.
Yeah.
And then it comes to keep saying, wanting to say Dimitri. It is Drachnimir's being brought up to do his speech of encouragement, which can be as simple as one word if he so chooses.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. So Drachnimir, having accepted his role of clan chief of chief and carried out the plans, he knows how to public speak now. So. And so like in particular, like I say, he's got the clerical aspects of clerical charisma of sacred call and auspicious collaborator. So so he can certainly put on a speech. Normally, it's a sermon type speech, but he can adjust it. He doesn't need to be talking about boys of Atruaghin.
Yes, plus I helped you with it, so take an assistance.
So yes, you can give me a persuasion roll with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
To represent just how well you've managed to sway the crowd.
If it's important, Eagle's got a specialisation in persuasion of leadership.
And that would work as well.
That's an expertise stuff, isn't
it?
Yeah. Yeah. So you get expertise plus advantage.
Okay. Which pushes the expertise up to a D6. Still got a 1 on it. So that's 16 plus 17 persuasion, you said, didn't you? 30.
30. So yes, with the help of Luell, of course, everyone will assume that it was Luell who wrote the speech.
No, it's his style, not mine.
Hey,
I know people make assumptions.
He still did the delivery, and a bad public speaker, doesn't matter how good the speech is, still stinks.
Yes.
And Luell is pleasantly surprised to see Drachnimir sway the entire crowd.
Yes. Well,
there's lots of cheers.
He is.
I will just confirm Drachnimir is in foot. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, you do actually have training in this. I know you've got training in it, and explicitly and specifically persuading people through this method. Yeah, I know you've got skills in this. You're showing off the skills that you have. I'm fully expecting.
Well, and I will point out,
really well.
in case it wasn't assumed or clear, Drachnimir is definitely in human form.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, it would be a bit distracting if you were.
He's not very half dragon at the moment.
Yes.
And yes, You were then given about an hour or two of awards to give people.
Yep.
With the help of Llewell and his aides.
Yes.
As they end up as they're stuck on the podium for the rest of the day.
That's all right. We hang them on the tree.
Does this mean in the background there's a bunch of Dragonborn in aprons and things, a little coffee stand, handing out coffees and cookies to people while awards are getting out?
Yes, it's a really good way to get people used to that.
AKA Flamcraft.
Yeah. As I said, it's a great way to get people used to having Dragonborn around.
It's also one of the few times you haven't seen Drazzle anywhere in the proceedings.
Do we know where Drazzle is?
Yeah.
He tries to avoid public presences because every now and then he gets.
So do we see a suspicious blue cloaked character around occasionally with a sketch pad but not making much of a...
I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a sneaky hatted disguise and just looks like some normal person.
Yeah.
Or he's hiding amongst Dragonborn because most people can't tell the difference.
Well,
yeah. He could likely be in amongst all the
Actually,
Dragonborn.
that's what he'd do. He'd wear a hatted disguise and he'd make himself look like a different Dragonborn. Because he's hidden.
I'm not entirely certain which skill's the most appropriate, possibly culture or something, but Emma will certainly have made the effort to personalise each of the awards as far as possible, based upon his knowledge and memories of the people, of the individuals he fought with, and more, even just the briefs that have been given overnight type stuff.
Culture roll would do that.
Yeah, culture is pretty well what it's for.
In which case it was a 22 on culture.
So everyone is beaming with pride as you give them their awards. You hear them sort of all excited. You even see a lot of the kids in the crowd have little Drachnamar dolls.
Eep's gotta get a puppet! This has become Calcricus's mission before the day is out. She wants a Drachnamar puppet.
Well, they're little plush toys.
Oh, well, plush toy will do, because we can turn one of those into a puppet.
Presumably they're not Transformer toys.
Yeah, I was going to say, Calcricus is going to come up with one that is in human and half-dragon version.
But certainly, as far as Garrick is concerned, the people of Garrick have only ever seen him in human form.
Calcrix, no matter what it takes, Calcrix is going to get one of those plushies. Provided she's allowed to get one.
Very easy to pick up in the markets.
No, they've all sold out. You're going to have to steal one from a little boy.
Oh, no. She will just bribe little boy with different other something if she has to. But...
Yeah, it'll be like taking candy from a baby.
Hopefully Calcrix is above that. Eve is like a baby though.
And each of you are also being brought up to get an award.
I'm
just seeing who actually had the guy in charge. As you are being given an award from someone by the name of Corwin Linton.
Who's given a award? Drachnamar?
Drachnamar, Llewell, and
Calcrix. Oh, so we're given an award from who?
Known as Corwin Linton.
Do we know who Corwin Winton is?
I'm guessing he's probably one of the merchant princes in Darrington.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Do we know who Corwin Winton is?
You've been around Darrington enough to believe he is one of the merchant princes in charge of House Linton.
Yeah, no, that sounds about
Linton?
right.
Linton.
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 Linton. Linton.
Same guy, sir.
L-I-N-T-O-N.
Okay, so merchant prince of House Linton.
And very few people see him in person.
I would not beg to. I would argue that perhaps maybe he came out for a chance to see us. Joking, no.
That too.
He is normally based out of the southern port.
Okay.
That is his home of operations. He runs the harbour and everything there.
He's the harbour master. And probably takes a good amount of money from him in multiple in handling cargo.
No, he makes sure that cargo goes from land to sea and the other way around, as well as is the import-export minister for the nation.
Yeah. Such a great source of money, that sort of thing. Helping people move cargo and freight.
But
Out
also
of curiosity, amongst all the award ceremonies and bits and pieces, were they also handing out any posthumous awards?
well, they have
Like
they basically have after your awards are given out a naming of all the fallen.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's going to take a while.
What is our award for the award that we're given? Does it say?
It is the for the Battle of Fort Ainslebury,
Yeah.
also known as the Broken Fort, but your ones are note down commanders and general.
Yeah.
So for the Battle of Fort Ainsbury or the Broken Fort.
Yeah.
There's not many people have survived a Draco Lich attack.
No.
It's one of the things you talk about, but we never focus on.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We're PCs. We're going to be doing things that other people look at and go, "Oh, you gods." But being PCs, it's sort of, yeah, no, that was a thing. But there was this other thing that was media.
So then they have the naming of the dead after that, as Jeremy was asking.
Yeah. So each of the generals basically steps up and lists the dead from their army, as each of them, each of their families gets the award if there's any surviving family. Otherwise, they're just honoured, and whatever funds that would go to the family are then donated to in their name.
Yeah. So they actually get an honour payment, not just a thank you, which is.
And viewing and after the presentations, Beckman is going to make an attempt to actually catch up with as many family members as he can to offer his condolences and thanks for their service.
Yeah.
Fabrics will follow suit. Because after talking with the Queen of Darkness, she has a deeper appreciation of what happens once we move on from this realm.
And so yes, you find that you're being greeted by thousands of families.
I'm just thinking I might actually change my size down so it's not as intimidating to people. So I'll make myself kind of, would it be medium?
Be medium.
Medium size.
Yes, human size.
Yeah, just so that it's going to be really hard to offer condolences and comfort to these families if I'm looming over them. So yeah.
But at the end of the day, they are doing a ceremonial enshrining of the banner of the fort in a monument in the center of the city. But they do not think the fort will be rebuilt anytime soon.
No.
And if it does, it will be under a different name.
That's a good point. And probably the name of the commander who was in charge at the time.
Right.
Because that's the sort of thing you do with that.
Makes sense. It obviously wouldn't be public knowledge yet, but yes, the fort is not going to be rebuilt because it's going to be Atruaghin land very soon.
Well, it might be rebuilt by the Atruaghin.
They may put together some permanent settlements.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, there's already stuff there. Rebuild what's there and you've got a settlement. It's already part built. It'll just be done in Atruaghin style. Or partly Atruaghin style. Be finished in Atruaghin style.
I don't know if it's possible because it probably would have required pre-arrangement to do this, but I think Calcrix thinks it would be good to contribute to or have actually brought along a sculpture which the city can choose where it gets put as a monument to the fallen from her domain.
Okay.
Because she has a lot of gnomes and druids who could have put together a sculpture.
Grown one.
Yeah, I actually what I'd like to do is a potted living tree, one that's not so big that it can't be transported, but one that's kind of lives on in the name of the people who gave their lives. Is that something that I can
That is something you can organise.
to pay for and get delivered if I've got funds and things to do that?
It can definitely be something you could have
Maybe it could
arranged.
sit outside their town hall or something.
Or you could put it on Redrian's estate as a
Okay, yeah.
Symbol
at the
that-
Knights Ravine. Yeah.
as a symbol there to show your connection to the place.
Yeah, okay. So I might do that
Yeah,
at the
regular.
Knights Ravine, and what I might do is the pot, which I'll talk size and all of that with you, but that pot or the thing that the tree lives in, it could actually be inscribed with the names of and maybe even on the lip have the names of the survivors to show that there's still people who are on. I'll write down to actually sort logistics out with you.
Yep, and I will write it up so it stays on their permanent spot there.
Yes. Yeah. I had a bit of a thought last week, and I didn't actually say anything about it because I still hadn't finished thinking about it to start with. The seed that I have, I'm going to have to wait till this is over before I use it. Yeah, I thought so. So where it is right now is about as safe as it's going to be.
Once it's planted, it connects to the other trees.
Yep. So once things have settled down a little and we've beaten Warcroft properly, because that's another thing.
We haven't forgotten.
No. That's the thing though. If the people in that battle manage to defeat Warcroft a bit earlier than we expected, they can participate in everything else that's going on, which will give everyone else one hell of a shock.
I think
Even if not all of them turn up, sort of suddenly there's 24 Elven heroes with lots and lots of experience on the battlefield.
hopefully, but at the moment, I think we've got to deal with.
Oh yeah, no, we can't assume they're going to be available, but it'd be nice if they were.
So yes, you have a big day. Anything else you want to make sure your characters do on that day?
I presume it's just taken as we've done our speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is going to be my first use of. Actually, it will be my first use of major restoration to cure my own exhaustion.
Yeah, at least you only need 4 hours sleep.
Yes.
And it's still working at this point. Because it did stop working at one stage.
Dragons should be able to do that too.
Dragons can get away with not sleeping for a while, but then they crash.
Yeah, so
That's called a caffeine crash.
No, this is actually more so. You can sleep once a week, but it's all weekend.
That actually suits her lifestyle quite a lot if she's not questing the mission.
Yeah. Like, we're coming up to the weekend. Don't mind me. I'll just be over here for a while. I'll catch up.
Yes. Yes. Or if you actually want to get in on the parties, you sleep midweek. Because you don't have an actual job. So you don't have to worry about when you're actually asleep.
Well, she has a job. It keeps her employed 24/7.
Yeah, but only 6 months a year.
All right. So we've had a big day.
Yep.
And so I gather we have a long rest.
You have a long rest,
Because we're
and
gonna need it.
Yes.
during the night, Llewell gets a visitor.
It's my sister again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What have you done now?
I exist.
Except it's a younger sister.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a nice surprise.
Yeah, the gardener.
Considering you've been staying at your father's place.
Yes.
Did you realise that there is an actual passageway going down into the Shadowlands here?
Yeah, no, fully expect.
You didn't realise it was there for quite a while.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to expect it, considering Shadowlands is pretty well under most of everything. So I will greet her warmly. Give her a hug.
She gives you a nice solid punch on the shoulder.
Thank her for turning up.
I like this person.
Yes, I give her a punch on the shoulder. Comparatively, it's wounded.
Of all your family, she's the most powerfully built.
Yeah, which is...
It's not always inappropriate to what she does, but hey.
No. Actually, I have to check something. I can't remember. My younger sister, because one of my sisters is a mage. The other one's... My oldest one's a cleric.
I was going to say, how many sisters do you have?
3.
Ah, well, it's not too bad.
No, and a
Could be
brother.
worse.
I haven't met the brother yet. The brother's fun. He's a bard.
Oh, well, that does sound like fun.
Yeah, and sings not so much lewd songs as politically risky songs.
Did you want to describe your younger sister?
I am getting that now. Actually, the younger of my... Sorry, 2 sisters. And this is the younger of my 2 sisters. She's a little bit older than me.
Do you have a younger one than you?
No, that my brother is the older one.
Okay. Then the one, yeah, the
2 boys,
youngest
2
of
girls.
those.
Yeah. So, Mayara Hill, who's a couple of decades older than me.
Sorry, how do you spell her name?
M-Y-A. It's actually M-Y-A-H-E-T-H-I-L.
Yeah.
She's a wizard, but she's also a gardener who does her own digging.
Yep.
So she's stronger than she looks.
This is good. So she visits Lul in his room, though we don't actually.
Yes.
Yep.
What's the last thing you remember doing with your sister that she needed to come and talk to you about?
Through the dishes.
It was... Pardon?
He said, do the dishes.
No. No. That's what servants are for. Not person. You don't even do the damn dishes. You just throw them out. Or or eat them.
The important indication of how long it had been since you last spoke to them.
Yeah. She was telling me about the ex relationship she's still got issues with because her ex doesn't like being her ex and he's a bit clingy. So we were talking about that. I don't know if she's got out of it or not. We've been out of touch for a little while, including me spending a couple of years out of time. So, yes.
Okay, she gives you a gift. It is a skull, nicely cleaned up with runes.
Should I ask whose this is?
Oh, I'm sure he'll tell you at some point.
Excellent.
Can you tell what race it is or what?
It's definitely an elven skull.
Well,
One of those heroes who got killed.
I did write her as neutral in a light event. Oh dear. Actually says my brother.
Hey, for a shadow elf, this is fairly neutral.
Yes.
She found use for the person who was annoying her.
And not just using him as a paperweight.
He's probably happy until she gave him away
Possibly.
to you.
Possibly.
So you can use them as a paperweight.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't, as long as the only way to use him isn't as a hat. That would be a bit bad.
It's very dark, Martin.
Yes.
Turning an ex-boyfriend into a skull covered
They
in
are
runes.
shadow elves.
Was
They're
the
generally
ex a
big.
shadow elf?
No.
Okay. But he knew he was dating a shadow elf, right? Oh, okay.
No.
I feel
They,
very
they
sorry
are.
for him.
They are secret. We'll put it this way: I know more about more about the shadow elves than almost everybody on the surface, and I didn't find out until I was 110.
I was going to say that you are a shadow elf.
Yeah, well, I didn't know
So,
that either.
so she tells you it is a spellbook.
It's a spell book. Wow.
That is distinctly interesting.
It's named Joy.
Does he appreciate the new job?
What was the
She
name?
never asked,
What was the name, Oh, sorry.
but we'll never.
George.
He'll never climb into a wrong person's room again.
Yeah, that's sort of fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was roughly all that was left when my sister was done with him.
Yeah, I can see that. I can also see our sister doing that. She visited me in my new town.
How many people did she kill there?
None that I know of.
Doesn't sound like her.
Yeah, I'm still looking for.
Well, she's gotten good at hiding them.
Yeah, I can't remember anyone being missing. So
She can make people forget too.
yeah, she's also possibly just got some of the visitors. Get people who won't be missed. Because it is a trading town. So, oh look, Thingy left early. No, he didn't.
Yeah, so she specialises in making components out of those who have displeased her.
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of get where she's coming from.
Yeah, I can sort of see it. Yeah.
But hey, climbing into bed with the wrong elf is really a mistake that you don't want to make.
For any elf, usually.
Let's be ducked away from moment. I'll back a second.
Yes. Put it this way: how many of the spellcasters who could explode someone just for a ride?
Not many.
Well, yeah. Most of us can just stab people.
She can pick up most of them. working the ground does make it a lot easier.
It does. I've been working out a little bit. A touch stronger than I used to be.
She pokes you around and going, yeah, looks like you've done a little bit. You're also a little more tan than normal.
Well, I've spent the last few years outside. The last couple of
Dread.
years fighting the master. Spent all my time outside.
Looks good on you.
Thank you. So, note that.
Now have a spell book in the shape of a skull.
Spell book, which is a nice lead in to me picking up wizard levels. Because I'm going to presume, considering it's her particularly, that this is going to be a wizard spell book, so it's going to have spells I don't get as a warlock.
Or it could be a warlock. That helps you prepare more spells.
That is also possibly true.
It would suit a warlock spellbook to be a skull.
That's yes.
Just not a celestial one, but hey, not everyone's celestial.
Well,
The equivalent of a pearl of power.
the thing is, if you, given what the celestial warlock is, a celestial warlock could have Anzantiotl as patron, because it's not demonic. So celestial is, it's a god, it doesn't have to be good aligned. It's just you get healing spells.
Okay.
I would change it though for them. Anyway, Skull Spellbook. Oh.
He says that the runes sort of change as you flick between the pages, she says, as she sticks her fingers in the eyes and shows you.
That gives me pause for a second or so. Good God. Control. Is that controlling where you're reading, or is that actually how you interact with the?
Oh, that's how you interact with it. The eyes are the key to the whole thing.
Because the eyes are the windows to the soul.
I'm sure someone has a saying like that, she says. I'm more practical, I don't believe in souls.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a poetic saying, but this is making it very practical in effect.
Yes, if she can't grow it, she's not as interested.
No, that's fair.
Though she does give you a pouch of funky substances, as she calls it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a list of what they are, or do I have to experiment?
Oh, that's the experiment.
Should I take notes for you?
Of course. I'm a scientist at heart. Feel free to experiment on yourself or others. Easier to tell what happens when you experiment on others.
That's true. Doing it on yourself clouds your perceptions and your judgment. Plus, of course, I can do somewhere towards finding out what things do before I use them on someone. I wouldn't want to give it to a friend of mine and have their head explode. Or melt. Or both.
Doesn't think any of them do that, but they might have an out-of-body experience or two.
Don't think.
You wouldn't want to do that, then you wouldn't have a skull left to work on.
Yes, that's true. So what's that? It's an oracular pelvis. Why? Because I exploded his skull.
Yes. And then she gives you a book with a crystal in it for keeping notes with. Doesn't actually have pages, but hey, it does sort of display the notes as you interact with the crystal, she says.
So it's a slab of crystal that's a book that acts like a book but doesn't open up. Cool.
And she says that that will connect into her research. So
No.
That way you can let her know what happens with each batch.
Right. Pages, notebook. Yes. It does remind me I should pick up some scrolls for some higher end communication spells so I could talk to people a bit more often.
And so you also have 10 bags that are labelled with various batch numbers. And she says these are all things that she's made and has no idea what they do yet.
So more experimentation.
That was the experimentation she was asking you to do.
Yep, cool. Okay.
And she says by collating her experiments, she'll be able to determine what is the likely effect of any of these substances. Not taking allergies and stuff like that into account.
That's enough pepper.
I can work
Plus a
around that.
little lemon tart. Is that too much for you?
That should be okay. I'm just going to duck to the bathroom first.
You can take the top one off.
Coolie stuffs. Thank you very
And
much.
That's diabetic chocolate.
Yes, I recognise that.
On offer is also a lemon tart and a seed cake. The lemon
Can I have
tart
this?
is not diabetic,
I'll
but
take the seed cake.
yeah, the seed cake's
One
probably
of,
the
one of these is
healthy
okay.
choice. They're one of the best things to come out of Costco, to be honest. They're full of lots of omegas and fatty acids and things like that that are good for you. Amino acids too.
Really useful and good things.
They're also kind of filling for a tiny little cake like that, which is also a nice benefit. Here I am advertising Costco. Not that they need advertising really.
No, well, I've been going there for a long time, so.
Same here, mostly for the fuel, but also because it's the absolute cheapest place to get energy drinks.
It's also a good place to get a whole lot of stuff. So,
Just turning down the aircon. I was gonna say that doesn't sound like it's part of the program.
no. Hello, dear. I'll be back in a second.
Hey, got a question.
Yes.
Brain.
Yes.
Brain. I might go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
Did it run on my desktop?
Oh, yeah. It got fairly high.
Okay, so Jeremy,
About 6,600.
Yep.
does Dimitri have any plans for the morning? I mean,
Not
Draknamar.
so he was like yes, he was recognising that the day of celebration was important, but a night of rest prior to departure is also important.
The laptop's not bad, so it can't suck too much.
Yeah. Well, probably provide some final advice and words to the personnel who have got to look after the Belfeggy swamp and also the plateau itself. Try and give some inspiring words and information to our new officers who are going to be running the training and things like that. Yes, you will be looking to be ready to leave as soon as the others are.
Okay, you also got to meet a bunch of medically retired soldiers who went in the parade because, well, They weren't able to just walk like the rest of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, he will aim to provide as much personal attention as he's able to, knowing that he won't be able to do enough. And yep, if the others don't pull him away, it may well be a late start for our journey, or the next day even. By the time he's sorted out some of that administrative and ceremonial duty.
Right. So I'll just let Ariadna know that you've finished.
Yeah. Oh.
You may take a while to come back though. Unfortunately, it is one of her triggers. Phone calls.
Sorry, I was not expecting that one. Christy wasn't going to be calling me till Saturday.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
So yes, so in the morning, Drakdamar meets up with a couple of the survivors of the battle who were medically retired, meaning they're no longer fit to fight.
Yeah.
Before dawn, as your mounts are getting ready to go. Redrine does point out that the Knights River Inn in Alfheim has become non-functional.
I'm not surprised. The Shadow Models are going to want to make sure that's not useful.
But most of the Elven wards are currently down.
Yeah, with the elves and particularly the tree keepers gone.
They're technically still there.
Yeah, but not inactive.
So our immediate first stop is Alfheim City.
Yep, he recommends that you'll get most of the heroes at the city.
Yep. There's no night driven in at Pavaro, I'm assuming. It's like about halfway along the road between Alfheim and Darrakan, north of Darrakan.
The only ones they have in that region are to the north, to the very north of Darrakan, and all the way over at Selenica.
Yeah,
I did think that he was more going for the border like that. Yeah, he had it in the middle and then go extended as far as he could. I thought, okay.
Yeah, he went to major cities or centres where technically the equivalent of ley lines converged.
Yeah.
As he says, portal magic is rather difficult at best, and building a permanent portal is a lot harder than just teleporting.
Yes. I'm presuming then, because last time I looked, there wasn't a list for portalologists. I presume they get the same high-end ley line spell that Dragonologist does.
To teleport along the ley line.
Just Dragonologist gets ley line manipulation spells as well.
Though the dragons are more concerned with the dragon ley lines, which others can't identify.
Yeah, that'd be specific to them.
As the elves have their own ley lines, but their ley lines have stopped working.
Yeah, because they're related to the trees.
And they had to tell their practitioners to stop using it.
For good reason.
Because if it wasn't replenishing, it would collapse sooner than expected. So yes, they say that the most of the heroes are there. Might have to tell Ariadna, but she may also be busy still. Okay, so yes, you can head out, but it will take some time to get there because it's not a.
I'm assuming we'll take the road up to Savado and then east across to Elfheim, which is the fastest route.
So 13 hexes to.
Yeah. We're all mounted, so we're going to reasonable clip.
Well, it is 104 miles.
So, you know.
Fairly
5
decent
days.
travel time.
Actually, no, it's a good road. Should make it a bit quicker.
Oh, sorry, just trying to get the actual rules. Unfortunately, they're all sitting over, just out of my reach.
I get.
So, Trials and Treasures actually does most of the overland travel. 55. So, like actually using the rules as intended. Okay, so. So you can easily do 32 miles in a day without magical enhancements.
Yep. And if mounted, you can do it without exhaustion.
But you probably exhaust the horses.
Yeah, but I'm not using a horse. Well, no, the thing is, a horse can do that without a problem. But, yeah, you don't want to go any further than that. If you've got a good road, it does mean you can go a lot further.
That is a base mounted speed.
Yeah.
A gallop won't last the entire day.
Oh, God, no. A gallop you wouldn't use more than about 10 minutes to half an hour.
If you had an enchanted belt, a gallop would get you 64 miles in the day.
Yeah. Of course, if we all had flying mounts, which we don't.
So, on the third day, technically on the fourth day, you arrive in Favaro. You do see along the whole road, almost the entire length of it is Darrican's army. Takes you about a day to cross each actual army itself. Meaning the other two armies would be on the other side of the...
Yes, we're probably dealing with the fact that, well, the road might be pretty good, but it's also pretty full, so...
Yeah.
And it's very hard to rush past all those people.
No.
Particularly if any of them recognise good members of the PCs.
Which they will, because we're a bit distinguishable.
So what they've done is they've set out on to Favara,
Yep.
which is the city to the north, having found out that Alfheim's Night Rivet's Inn is currently out of business.
Because of the Civil War? Or
Because of the
other
Civil War.
reasons?
Yeah.
That's what they believe anyway.
Yeah.
Can I get you in?
The assumption is the Shadow Wall's closed,
Well,
because otherwise they've got an...
When did they last have news of Elfheim?
He gets news fairly regularly, but the in itself they've technically disconnected it from the network, so it couldn't be abused.
Yeah.
Because hey, with all the different magic floating around, they didn't want to draw attention to themselves. That, and could you imagine the Elven nation wanting to use his network?
Yeah. A lot. For a start, some of them would go, cool, let's invade somewhere.
Where you could send an entire nation of people to someone's doorstep,
Yes.
whether they wanted you there or not.
Yes. Hi, we're colonising. There's only 28,000 of us. All of us have sharp sticks.
Magic and artifacts.
I thought I turned the air conditioner down, but it doesn't seem to have changed.
Okay, I'll see if I can do that.
Sorry to just
And my phone's trying to do stuff for me. Yay, phone.
On the plus side, whilst we're slowed down by trying to get past the armies on the road and things like that, it does mean that when we stop for the night, we've probably got secure shelter and supplies available.
Oh, yes.
that is true. So we're heading to what's the name of the place?
You went to Favaro, and at Favaro you're having you're watching the various demonstrations and training exercises of people who have never touched a sword in their life.
Oh dear.
Or a spear, or a shield, or a helmet.
Well, okay. Best thing to do at this point, give them all spears. Because it takes basically the smallest amount of training to be useful. It's also really cheap. Spear and shield for every single one of them. Giving them swords is a waste of time.
Well, they're basically training them in how to use swords as well as
Yeah.
getting them to the basically accelerated training course that they would have given their soldiers normally.
Yeah.
Darrican, unlike most of the surrounding nations, does have formal training.
Yeah. Real world, of course, getting even competent with a sword takes a notable amount of time. Being competent with a spear is, poke it towards him and keep the shield in front of you. Don't need much more than that.
Well, the sword is the advanced training.
Yeah, that's true. Swords are for sergeants.
Take it. That was it. Little sister that told us that the Shadow Elves closed Elfheim's Night.
No, it was Redrin. Redrin had personally closed it.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's okay.
So
it was closed by Redrin.
Right. Okay.
Because the magic was starting to be noticeable.
Yeah, I can see that.
Are there other Knights River inns that are being closed, or just Elfheim?
Just that one. He may reopen it depending on what happens, but he also didn't want to give the Master a potential to jump through networks because he has taken 2 cities where he had outposts.
Yeah, that is true.
And getting a jump past the lines right into Elfheim, he thought was a bad idea. He didn't expect that the Master still had access to his inn that was on the other side of the lake, considering he sent the city to hell.
Yeah. But the Red Rune link still works.
Technically, if you make it a planar portal, it will connect to the Knights River Inn in hell.
Probably not the best thing to do.
It's one of the things he has in mind to try to bring it back. But doing so might require a assault of hell to do so.
Not yet. Yes. When we've got a few more levels on, we'll try and go and rescue Red Rune's in from hell.
Well,
and the whole city if we can.
And the people who have been stranded there.
Yeah.
Not everyone got out.
No. One would expect some to stay trapped in it.
Well, as the tree approached, people were being shunted into hell the entire time.
Oh, how?
Until they, when the city finally dropped, the rest of the buildings went.
Right.
And despite our best efforts in Akakoli, some people decided to stay. They didn't believe us.
There's always going to be somebody. Oh
And you see all the everyone from captain and above has rapiers.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's basically the skill of swordsmanship is a big thing in the nation.
Yeah.
Which is why even recruits are given the chance to learn the sword and rapier as part of their training.
Yeah. Yes. It just takes quite a bit to learn to be more than just not embarrass yourself. But that's fair enough.
It's not that they're not taking these on as a short-term solution.
No, they're not. If they're teaching him sword, that's years worth of experience you're going to be putting on the battlefield.
And they're wanting them to basically fulfill the new recruits who are like the 12 and 14-year-olds to grow into it.
Yeah. Meat grinder. Definitely meat grinder. But it's what you have to do.
And unfortunately, a lot of people who are fighting a war of survival will use everything they can.
Oh, of course.
So yes, many people.
My sister do horrible things.
Many people are celebrating the arrival of a dragon into the city or the town.
Calrix? Oh, okay.
For them, it is the equivalent of a blue moon or a flying pig.
Oh, okay. So they're not scared of her because...
if you growl at them, they'll run away in fear. If you
presume, considering she's the face of the coffee thing, it's preceding her now.
Yeah,
and she's known as a friendly dragon.
Yeah, that plus, as a group, we are pretty unique and recognisable.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure Drakman is doing his best not to be recognisable at all and finds my popularity probably annoying.
A human, an elf, and a white dragon with black bits, and the elf is dressed real pretty, and the human is dressed country style. That's just us.
And you find when you get here that Dravel is here. He hasn't travelled with you. And he's apparently doing a lot of the training.
Okay.
So it seems like he's been here all along. Okay.
Yep, he's doing battle cleric impressions. Including possibly using spells to help people sort of keep up.
No, you've never seen him use swords before. He normally uses axes.
All he's got to do is just send them all back to his wagon and give him an extra couple of years to train.
He may be doing that to the better ones, or possibly the worst ones, without telling anybody. And I'm not going to ask.
Though you do notice quite a few of the recruits he's been training do show signs of scarring, even if they're young.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those 12-year-olds that he's been training are now 15, that have only been training for 6 weeks.
Though he does seem to finish up the training when you arrive. He has that look of what took you so long sort of look.
Calcrix will pretend to not know what he's talking about. It's got nothing to do with her or Eep's popularity. And as she comes up to give Druzzle his usual hug, Eep waves her new Draknama plushie at him.
Smack, 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 smack. It's waving smack, smack, smack.
But not in an aggressive, horrible way. Just kind of like a, look at my new plushie, isn't it cool?
So you smack him with the chest with it.
As she Eep cries, get the infidel with it. Infidel. Because she thinks that would be funny, and I don't know whether or not Druzzle thinks that funny, but Eep does.
When Eep does that, you hear a shout of "Death to the infidel" from a lot of the soldiers.
Did you just teach them a new battle cry?
A lot of them are descendants of the Yalarum, and that is one of their sayings.
Yes, it is.
Oh, really? What's
That's where Eat got it from. Remember?
What's the history of? Well, no, I don't remember.
Okay.
The Yalarum are Arabian Night style people.
And so,
Which
what
do-
does
many
the
of them-
cry mean to them?
The cry means to them is to destroy the people who are wrong to the way of life, such as the Master.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as the cry is kind of like as a
From
let's
Mm.
defeat the master sort
Yes.
of, you know, a battle cry type thing. That's good.
Yes.
Particularly since Draknamar is one of the people leading forces against the master.
Yes.
So if she's got a little Draknamar plushie that's yelling death to the infidel,
They'll be
that's
saying
not...
death. They'll be saying death to the infidel and cheering you.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
Yes.
so this is not entirely bad, but she didn't mean to... She meant it as kind of like a harmless sort of
Yeah.
gesture to make him laugh, not to
And
get
I'm presuming
attention.
what he's laughing at now is your reaction to them saying,
Yeah, he probably is having a good chuckle at Calcrix's embarrassment.
yes, I'm also going to apologise to Drazzle that we didn't get here instantly because we can't time slip.
Yeah, make that pointed. Like, we can't time slip, so...
Do you
Suck
want to?
it
He
up.
says.
I think it would probably involve too much trouble for me to get into.
You leave a little bit of yourself behind each time.
That's actually rather an issue.
And he's talking a lot different than he normally does.
Yes, that's rather more direct than he normally is.
He does. You can't really see much in the way of difference to him.
No, but he sounds a lot different.
He sounds a lot older.
Yeah.
That's
That-
hard.
Now, yeah, but that's the thing. Now he sounds like an adult, not a slightly pretentious teenager. Because he used to be a slightly pretentious teenager.
He was a very pretentious
We're both
teenager.
only 12, kind of.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, the thing is, he varies between like
Yeah.
12 and 300.
Well aware of that.
Or a couple of centuries or more.
Yes.
Or immortal.
Mm.
Alright.
Well, he's a time shifter. He's functioning immortal anyway.
So we greet Drazzle.
Yes.
Does he have any news, or just making a note that he's now with the group again?
He's choosing to join with you again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, glad to have him make that choice, because to have him not make that choice would be very sad.
Well, he says the Drazzle in Darrakan City is busy.
Okay, so
can see
this is
that.
a different Drazzle altogether than the
Yes.
Drazzle that normally travels with us.
He does seem a bit older than the other Drazzles.
There has been
Okay.
3 of him together at one point.
Yeah, no, you know, I'm well aware of all the
Yeah.
different Drazzles. I just
He just tries not to interact with himself too often.
Well, that's perfectly reasonable.
Calcrix has met
Okay.
an older Drazzle while the younger Drazzle waited outside of the city, so
Yeah.
that he didn't bump into himself. So
Which is good.
she does know that goes on. Alrighty.
And he looks at Lual and says, "Sorry, your sister gave you the skull. I'm so sorry." And then moves on.
It was a bit of a shock, yeah. This is the first time you've ever heard about a skull. For either of you two.
This sounds like it's a good moment for coffee.
That sounds like a really good plan.
Okay. So as Drazzle leads you over to the coffee house, you see the crowd sort of steps to the side for him.
Of course they do. they should be showing him all due respect as far as Catholics is concerned. He's sacrificed a lot for the saviour of the people of these realms. But she doesn't say that. But
Yes.
that's
right.
how she feels.
And he walks in and comes out with coffee saying he ordered these earlier.
Yes.
Of course. Excellent.
So Eep's got like a triple cream latte with full fat milk and a little bit of butterscotch and caramel in it because it's Eep. Just so you know, she's one of those pretentious orderers.
And you hear her voice get a little more high pitched, so there was some sugar in there too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if there was a Starbucks around, you'd never go anywhere else.
No, Starbucks does not deliver the best coffee.
No, but they're as pretentious as hell.
Yeah, no. The pretentiousness was meant to be funny, not,
Well, no.
not, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a way of life or a
No,
lifestyle
well, that's
choice.
fair enough. She would go into Starbucks, discover how bad the coffee was, and then go somewhere slightly less pretentious.
Knowing
better.
Eve, if she walked into a Starbucks, she would probably obligate them all to hell or obligate them to make better coffee
Probably the second. 'cause
at
that way you
decent
get-
prices.
Yeah, probably the second, because that way you get actual reasonable coffee. How about I get that?
I don't know where it went though.
Yeah, but I got a torch.
It was bound to happen. I've made like 20 attempts to try and hold that thing.
Coming out this side.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
I saw the reflection.
Excellent.
I'll do it further over the table so it falls on the table.
Okay, so yes,
Alright.
he has his cart here. It is looking more like
Wait
a
minute.
wagon.
I've got
Yeah.
a plus
Okay, bigger.
everything coffee t-shirt.
Yeah. I
And
like it.
Drazzle's just giving me a coffee, so does that mean I get these stats
Sure.
if something happens?
Yes, but not your character.
Yeah, not my character. There's one time, the first time I wore this t-shirt, he gave me these stats as a character.
Mm-hmm.
It was very funny.
There's some of the stuff for the Munchkin card game.
Mm.
That if you wear the t-shirt, you get a bonus.
Yes, there is a T-shirt. If you wear it, you can use it as if it were a card.
Mm.
You get to use it once. There are various promotion cards which can be used as a playable card.
Yeah.
Some of them are one use, as in
You're supposed to
You
tear
rip the
them
card
or
up as
something.
you
you rip it up into small bits and you sprinkle it as confetti.
Yeah, no,
And the
one-
cards it hits are affected.
No one who is sensible should
I
do that.
have seen someone do that, pick up all the bits, tape it together and do it again, and it was considered valid.
It's Munchkin.
It's
Everything's
Munchkin.
valid.
Yeah. If you can get
okay,
away with
so,
it, do it.
So, yes,
coffee.
you have coffee. You see Dressel has a big wagon
Yep.
with.
Is horse there?
His
He has 3 horses.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Do they all look the same?
Well, you sort of can tell that it's really one horse that looks like 3 horses.
Oh, I
Right, so
see.
now he's got a draconic hydra. It's
Oh.
actually got 3 heads, but only one body.
It's a bigger. It's
It's
grown.
just a great big one that happens to look like 3 horses. All right.
It's easier to do an image of 3 horses than to.
To try and shrink it and still have it useful. I'm still not going to go over and squish their heads
Cow cracks one.
because, yes, well, you can get away with it. You're not food. I probably could get away with it. I mean, charm them enough and they'd let me do it, but yeah.
Alrighty.
His drake now has sapphire scales.
Ooh,
Oh wow.
pretty.
Do we know the significance of that?
It's a more powerful drake than it was. It's grown in more ways.
In the sense that
Yeah, it used to be blue.
as your chromatic dragons evolve into metallic dragons, evolve into gem dragons.
Yep, and this one's gone for crystal.
It's Calcrix's goal
Yes.
one day to upgrade herself to gemstones.
Yes.
Drizzle pat you on the back saying, "You'll get there."
One day. Just takes a bit of time.
Yes.
When you're ready to lead.
Bit more time.
Mm.
Hasn't
Couple
she
of
been
centuries.
reading all along?
Couple of centuries, easy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a couple of sessions, easy.
No.
Which would have been hilarious.
Yes. Hi, let's give a young teen with a coffee fixation an army.
Technically, she already has fought in armies and stuff, but
Well,
that's
yeah,
okay.
that's true.
When-
but,
when-
but not led one.
We're not vying for all of that just yet.
No, that's later.
She's happy. She's happy doing what she's doing right now.
Mm.
It's purposeful. But considering, speaking of purposeful,
Yes.
she wants to start kind of getting towards this goal.
Mm-hmm. Let's start going.
She's very aware of the time
Yes.
and priority. Yeah,
Yes.
I got it.
Well done.
The question is how long is it going to stay there? And I have a feeling that I don't have it in the right position. Didn't put it in the right position. Put it where I want to put it.
And it's going to take you 2 days to arrive in Elfin Forest.
Right.
Travel montage, it
Yes.
seems. Unless, of course, we encounter something along the way.
Yes.
Drazzle does tell you that there are no longer any border guards of friendly natures.
Okay. That kind of sounds ominous, but
Well,
not entirely.
well, I'd say the
Which
shadow.
book are you looking for?
I was just seeing what I had there.
No,
This is the one I was looking for.
The shadow elves in place are not likely to take anyone who's not a shadow elf particularly well,
okay.
considering they're occupying a country and haven't settled things yet.
No, I guess that's fair enough.
Yes. By the way, I have told my aide
Mm-hmm.
that if he gets in contact with any of his people or its people, that they can stay at my place. That was what I was
Right.
saying before about allowing the Feywild people in.
Ah, I see.
Basically,
Makes sense.
because he's a Feywild representative.
Yeah.
He's from there, which is why he's a tree.
Okay.
Not just looking up what we're going to encounter along the way.
Well, I had something that said it would be right in this spot, and yeah, I think I found it. Okay, so yes. 2 days of traveling through, getting lesser and lesser trained troops as you go,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
as they put the more experienced ones up the front,
Yeah.
and trying to train the ones further behind.
Yes.
They look impressive as a pile of people and tents and stuff.
Yeah, but you think about their actual capabilities right at the moment. Yeah.
And the closer you get to Elfheim, the more disorganized and less competent they look.
Yeah.
But for sheer numbers, it looks terrifying from a distance.
Oh yeah. It's one
Well,
of the
numbers
contributions.
always look terrifying from a distance, which
Yes.
is good.
And up close, the ones they see are highly competent.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that
Yes.
that
Right.
makes sense.
Yes. Which does mean, of course, the more damage we can do to the bad guys, the more of these people are going to survive.
Mm.
And they do warn you as you're getting closer to the forest that weird things happen across the border.
Yeah. That's not surprising.
They've been warned not to go further.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which part of Alfheim are we coming into? I can't quite. pick
You're
it
taking the
up.
road into the main forest,
Mm.
which goes
Yeah.
between Dreamland and Ironbark towards Elfheim town. Passes pretty
Yeah.
close to
Okay,
Ironbark.
yeah. That, I thought that's where we were coming in from.
The only way to safely enter Elfheim, with the word safe in quotes, is by the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the sky is dangerous, by underneath is even worse.
Yes.
Through any of the thick forest itself is probably the most dangerous way.
Yes.
Mm.
And left or right is two different types of danger.
Well,
However-
variety is the spice of life.
Yes. However, yeah, basically there's 5 ways to go, one of which is moderately safe. The rest of them will spooge you on. But the Dreamlands is the Alfheim area.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not Alfheim area, the Feywild area.
Yeah.
All the good magic points are Feywild, all the bad magic points are Feydark.
Yeah.
But there's the Dreamlands is the Feywild representatives.
Yeah.
That's the less elfy.
So did this one down here
Yes.
specifically the Dreamland, or
Yeah.
is this one's called Ironbark, which is another representation of the Feywild?
Yeah.
Alright.
But that's the thing. We're going close to where my aide can contact his people and say, "Look, go there."
Okay, so as you enter the forest, you hear a fanfare, so beautiful you just want to cry.
Okay. This sounds like the doing and work of the Fae.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you all seem to want to walk off the path. So each of you get to make
Say we're rolling?
This one would definitely be a charisma saving throw,
Oh, okay. I haven't done one of those for a bit.
because it's about force of personality.
Yep.
Oh,
You've
okay.
got to. Basically, you've got to persuade yourself not to succumb.
I might use one of my rerolls maybe. Because that was pretty low. I don't know what my addition thing is, but it was 6 on the dice. So I'm wondering
6
if I
on the
might use my
dice.
luck of chaos.
Yeah, luck is a good idea.
You could do your luck of chaos.
Well, it's difficult to get worse than that.
Well, I don't know. You say this just before I roll my dice.
I know.
So you do have plus 10 on your roll, because
You
charisma
said
is one of the
that,
saving throws.
And I got a 3. You
Yeah, didn't
you
all of them
essentially
possible.
cursed
Table
my...
reroll. Table reroll.
Yeah, it's 3 and it's... I don't know if a 16 is going to be enough to resist though.
Well, she's already done a reroll, so you don't really get a
Yeah,
reroll.
I
on a
don't.
reroll.
I, don't, I
You only
won't
get
get
one.
another
You
one.
only get
So
one.
you had to say this just before I rolled. Paul.
It's all about odds.
Yeah.
Say so. And your appropriate response, Ariadne, was challenge accepted.
Yeah. No, it's
Yes.
it's Martin's effect on those.
Oh.
Normally, when I say things like that, people get 16.
Yeah. It was just, I knew it was all gonna go.
Hey, I do have a very interesting effect on odds.
Yes.
Considering people who roll my red dice generally roll a 1 to 5.
Well, they're not your dice. They're my
No,
dice,
no.
and
Yeah.
both of mine belong in the dice tower, which
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I
Fix.
pretty up. Yeah.
At one point, I was under instruction by the GM. Sorry, no, the party was under instruction by the GM. If someone was about to roll, and I said a number, and they got that number, they had to reroll. Because it happened often enough for this to be useful.
I'm fairly sure that's not a rule here, and
No.
I'm fairly sure I'm wandering into
Yeah.
the forest even at 16.
No, it
So-
it even worked on damage dice.
What did Lowell get on his?
Sorry, just to make sure, I add proficiency bonus as well, don't I?
Are you proficient with charisma?
Lucky
Then
you
yes.
get
Yes, I do.
proficiency bonuses. Some of us do
Yeah.
not.
You did. You get. That's why you're plus 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it? Oh, okay.
Yes,
Mm.
because you're a wizard, you get.
And how did
And
Drachnamar go?
I feel like you should.
Jack Nemo got 23 with his plus 5.
Of course, you
Yes.
got a 23. Drachna is naturally charismatic.
Yes.
Well, no, he's only got plus 5 because he's not proficient in charisma saves.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't seem to need it though.
No, well, he got a.
Nice
You
roll.
got a ridiculous roll.
He got 18.
It's until it's combat.
Yes, well, yes. I got a very nice roll. I got 20.
Are you trying
Maybe
to
how
rub
my
it in
brain
now,
hurts.
Paul?
Well,
I
I did
feel
roll.
like you were.
I did roll a 17, and I'm proficient in charisma, and my charisma is stupid.
Okay, so you see Calcrix run off into the forest.
That was gonna happen.
Okay.
And so the first thing that goes through Jack Nemo's mind is, we're back on the Isle of Good.
funny enough, everybody in the Friday group can say exactly the same thing. Word for word.
Yeah. Because it happened on the elephant for them too.
Yeah.
Right.
Does anybody have a chance to try and catch Calcrix before she runs off? Or
A
flies off?
large dragon, probably not.
You can follow Calcrix, but catching Calcrix while Calcrix is that much larger is a little hard to do. It's like stopping a rhino.
Yes. Calcrix is the size and weight of a large horse. You're not going to stop that one without getting crunched.
I don't know. Drachnamur would be willing to have a go. He's got a flight speed.
Yeah.
Well, not the present time, because he's not in. He's still in human form right now, because there were too many other Derrican potentially still around.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, fair enough.
So
okay, are we got. What do you?
the thing is, we're both mounted, so we can
Yes.
we can chase at a reasonable speed.
You follow at a reasonable speed. Oop. Damn it. Oh, at least it's under there.
Yeah, there we go.
More good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's underneath my
Well,
foot
the
so
point you-
that I don't lose it.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want me to pick it up for you?
Not just yet.
Yeah.
We're going to find out what happens with this forest and this dragon.
Okay, so yes, you follow the bounding dragon into the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sorry.
By riding on my bounding dragon.
And Calcrix gets to make a wisdom saving throw this time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use the shiny of the dog. Nope, fail that.
For you, it's a +4.
Yeah, 6.
And Calcrix falls asleep.
Oh. At least it's better than turning into a bad guy and turning on us.
Yeah, I was actually expecting something else to happen, but
As you see,
sounds like he wants to be picked up again.
fairies coming out of the forest to start tying her up.
Ah.
Does Eve
Well,
do anything about this? Just out of curiosity.
Well, they haven't noticed Deep yet, so who knows?
Okay, alright.
How far away from us did he get before she fell asleep?
Not very far. So you technically, by the time she falls asleep, both of you are either side of her.
Right, so they get
Yeah.
to her to tie her up as we get to her.
Well,
Sort of thing.
they get to say. Victor will attempt to wake her up first of all, before we see the fairies start making pieces, but
Yes.
Okay, so it will give you an initiative roll.
Yes. And I'm going to
Just
attempt
check on
to persuade them. Yes, he was asking for someone to follow him to somewhere.
Nick might be using it.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Quite probably. Well, even,
He's just yelling for attention.
yeah.
we're moving into combat, and therefore I got a 5 on my dice roll, which gives me an initiative of. Where's my initiative gone?
Quite a lot. Your dex is pretty high though, isn't it?
Yeah, but so just
Yeah.
yeah.
Still ordinary bits. Oh, that's a point. I got an extra one. That was actually 28. Sorry, 26.
So 26 for...
No,
Lua.
sorry. No, that was the save I had. I was just setting things up wrong.
So what did Drachnamir get for his initiative? 6?
So work out. What's the initiative to level up again?
Is can be perception. It can be another skill if you can justify the other skill.
Okay, well, perception is probably just as simple as any other.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's so awkward when you get picked up.
9, 23, 26.
Okay.
26 for Drachnamir for initiative.
Yeah.
Didn't you roll low?
You roll a 5, and a 4 is inspiration dice.
Sorry, what's this?
You
He has got like 14 for perception.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're heavy.
Come here, you.
And you also get an additional +3 for on initiative rolls for his graces.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, alright, there we go. That's the right
Heavy.
colour.
Might get you to do your perception roll for initiative
Oh,
as
so
well.
Yeah.
another roll?
So that would be.
How many dice are going to fail me in a roll? That's 4 so far.
Now, considering you're asleep, you've probably got a fairly low initiative.
Yes, mine got 22.
What's my plus on perception? Is it 8
I'd say
or 10?
8 would be a good one. So you got a total of 10.
No, I got 13, but I think
So,
my plus is.
That make it 21.
Mm.
And Lowell got
22.
I think it's possibly plus 10 though, I don't know.
Yeah, but you probably get about a -10 for being asleep.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
What your perception.
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, well, you can be
Pretty certain
so
that-
you do get perception checks, but it is a benefit.
Okay, so Drachnama wakes up Calcrix,
Okay. Well, that's helpful.
which you can do with a action
Mm-hmm.
because that's a handy thing to do.
Yep.
And how did they go with theirs? That's not so good for them.
That's good for us.
We have apparently happy cat.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just wanted someone to snuggle.
Yeah,
You want someone to pick him up, but
yes. I'm just
I
not
can't
used.
hold him for long at the moment
No,
because
that's
my
fair.
ribs are
Yeah.
twisted.
I have no problem taking that spot.
Okay, so
See, we don't have cats.
Lowell, you see Drachnama wake up Calcrix.
Mm-hmm.
As you see a group of shimmering knights with glowing scimitars and bows.
Oops. I take it these are shadow elves, not elves.
I will
What
give
can I
you
tell
a perception to try to insight into it using wisdom.
Yes. Right, wisdom.
And you get a bonus dealing with Fae.
I get a bonus dealing with Fae, and I've got expertise in insight as well. So it actually takes me up to a D6, isn't it?
I'm just going to ignore him because otherwise he's just going to carry on like that whenever he wants attention, and I don't think it's a good habit for him to follow.
27.
Okay, they are not shadow elves, they are not elves. They are
Fae.
that you have walked right into a Fae court.
Yeah. So, I am going to greet them as if we
And
had
and they look slightly crazed.
Oh dear. That's going to be a bit hard.
It's been a while since their world was closed off to them.
Yeah. Do I know enough? Is it even remotely possible that I could persuade them out of basically being crazed berserkers?
Possibly, though they are quite. They tend to have a lot of bloodlust when they have no connections. It's sort of like ringing a bell for a shadow for one of the dark fae will set them off.
Yeah.
Is a similar thing.
Yeah. So
Non-lethal
basically,
methods?
if they weren't actually already in combat and there wasn't a bunch of them, we might have a chance, right?
Right, possibly, unless you have something that can do a rhythmic bell.
Can I do a bell? Can I do a bell without having to do a ritual? Because that would be silly.
See if I can find my spells. See what paperwork's here.
I don't have anything for making sounds per se.
Can you do anything with prestidigitation in that sense? Like,
Yes.
it allows you to do like dance and
It's
lights
not-
and things like
yeah,
that.
I can
Not
make-
sound.
I can make some noise, but it's not loud.
at least separate it out myself so I can find one.
And it's all about it's all about the rhythm. The more precise the thing, the more likely it's to affect them.
If I summon a Guardian of Faith and get it to bang its shield,
Can you do that as an action?
I can.
Most summons.
You realise Dracula's got a large drum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but
You
I'm
could
looking
just
at what I
ask
can do.
Dracnima to... Well, what
Yeah.
you could do is tell Dracnima to
Dracnima.
hit his drum.
Yes, Dracula, we need something rhythmic,
And-
soonish. Please drum. No, you can't actually give the Guardian Faith orders, so it's not actually useful. It's a one-action cast, but it turns up and protects an area. You don't tell it to do things. Unless I can persuade the spell to do fun stuff.
Okay,
So
so
that's a useful one for this. But yeah, asking Dracomir to give a rhythmic beat is pretty well all I can do at this point.
I am happy for Drachnamar to do a performance roll,
Yeah.
jumping in at that point to see if it actually gives you assistance.
Yes. I could do suggestion on possibly the front one, and the suggestion being listen.
It wouldn't work.
Oh, it's a charm effect, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
You rolled enough for me to say that directly.
Yeah.
I got 21 on performance with the Inspiring Pahu.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes.
It says it's enchantment, but that's the same as charm effect, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so yes, the peal of
The
the
drum
drum.
creates a deep resonant sound that sets tempo for a song. Excellent tool for motivating warriors before battle. But that maybe not what we're aiming for here, but we're getting definitely a solid rhythm.
The fact that it sets the tempo is the big bonus on that side.
Yeah.
It's if you had a mechanical device that did it precisely each time would work 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've got a magical item that sets the tempo means that it's almost as good.
It's as good as a dwarf.
So what you're looking for really is a metronome.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'd need something built by a dwarf, not a gnome.
The gnomes actually have more precision in a lot of their stuff. The dwarves
That's
have more
true.
resonance.
Yeah. Yes, well, actually, it's something built by both.
And yes, you see that the face stop in place as he starts playing.
Mm-hmm.
A sort of look of as if they can't focus.
Yeah.
So Dracula's just started doing the
rhythmic
and
beat.
he's but looking strangely over at well, it's
Not sure
really
why
like
I'm doing this.
questioning what the goal is going to be here, but he's happy to play the drum.
Well, I guess you can see that the Fae have paused.
Yeah, I will.
Oh yeah, that's you
they
can see the effect. It's more the why is it affected this way. He's not certain, but he's also happy that can be a question for later.
Yeah,
And
well, I was going to say as an explanation, their fate, they're affected by things like this.
And on Calcrix's turn, you see Eep grow to a large size silhouette and run directly at them. Yelling, "Death to the infidels!"
Oh, dear.
in a higher pitch than he normally does.
Gee, yeah.
Gee.
I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Because I know that
I don't know what it is like.
Eep does eat fairy dragons. So if there's fairy dragons among them, they might be dead.
Well, they're shiny. They're fey in shiny rainbow-coloured armour.
Mm.
So he might go, well, that looks like a crunchy fairy dragon.
As Calcrix knows, Ape is a dark fae.
Yes.
You guys know that now too.
Yeah.
And I told you the side effect of dark fae go berserk when they hear the same thing.
Oh.
So the tempo may be driving Ape.
Yeah. It's driving
mad.
Rend semi-catatonic and it's driving him nuts. Yeah. We can't have it affect only one lot. Unless I can.
Can you
unless I can-
cast some sort of sphere of resilience or silence over Ape?
It is now Calcrix's turn.
Can I cast some sort of sphere of resilience or...
You could cast Spear of Resilience around Ape, and Ape would then be protected from the sound.
I will cast
Yep, that
sphere
will
of
work.
resilience around Ape.
You catch Ape about 4 floats away from the nearest fae.
Nice.
He doesn't quite step, so
Mm.
she doesn't quite step.
No.
Thanks.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, the best thing I could have done would have been take Heap off the battlefield for a couple of rounds. That's what I would have done.
And that's what sphere of resilience will do too. It lasts
Yeah.
about a minute.
Yeah, a minute, but I
Okay.
would only get a couple of rounds out of it. That's quite a lot longer. And banishment, I love it. Oh, you're not on the battlefield for 3
yeah.
rounds.
Yeah, I've got banishment as well, but
Yeah.
sphere of resilience is a
Yes.
bit kinder.
Yeah, but I don't have access to it.
Mm.
Okay.
So,
Well, my other spell for against the Fae would be slow, because it doesn't cause any damage.
yeah.
Okay, so each of you, except for Eve, because Eve's now protected,
Mm-hmm.
gets to make a wisdom saving throw.
Excellent fun.
As you hear a unearthly beautiful voice
Oh, dear.
yell something in condemnation.
Can you tell me what my wisdom is again? Sorry.
Your wisdom thingy is +8.
So that's 23. I'd actually not fall asleep this time.
Yay.
I don't know if
Well.
23 is high enough.
You can expect that the drum might be stopping. Practically got 9.
Oh,
Um,
dear. I
So
can't-
this is the time now for you to get the not so great roll.
Oh, as I said, combat started.
Yeah. Yes, 24 on mine.
Okay, so the two of you successfully save. Drazzle successfully saves. And
Can't see what Drizzle got.
you got an 11 on the dice.
Nice.
And we
We're not
have
going to put it on the dice.
Drachnamar unfortunately did not save.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect this may not be as nice as just falling asleep, unfortunately.
Yeah. This may be one of those "you're mine now" things.
It could be.
Yeah.
And Drachnam is a pretty powerful thing to have.
Okay, so
That's right. I can do banishment on him.
You might need to.
it is now Drachnamir's turn, and Drachnamir gets a bit of damage from that. And he gets to make a saving throw.
Another wisdom saving throw.
Another wisdom saving throw. You get to make one at the end of each turn until you succeed.
Yep. All right. 23.
Well, at least it's only one round of psychic damage.
Mm-hmm.
You take 25 points of psychic damage.
25.
Is that like a really bad headache?
It is very much like a bad headache. You see the equivalent of blood pouring out of your ears.
That's like beyond a migraine.
Yeah.
Probably the important point from the rest of the party, though, is that's at the end of my turn. I'm assuming I don't do anything during my turn, and therefore the drumming does stop? Or...
You spend your entire turn screaming.
Yeah.
As imagine Drachnamar's worst nightmare, he's seeing that right now.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
He's completely covered in black scales. And it's not just a blessing, it's an actual alignment choice now.
It's matte black.
Oh, I would have said metallic black, because that's
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, fair.
Metal and black.
Mm-hmm.
Gem black.
Fortunately, we're players, and
Yeah.
So yes, it is now Llewell's turn, as you've just heard. The drumming is stopped. The face seem to take control of themselves again, and Drachnamar providing a scream more intense than you probably heard before.
Unfortunately, not rhythmic enough to keep them distracted.
No.
Yeah.
I could sing something rhythmic.
And you know that is the effect of a fairy noble.
How many of these guys are there?
You can see 6 in the clearing.
And presumably the whatever caused the psychic damage is not necessarily one of those 6?
It is would not be one of those.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to write all of this at pace?
Very hard, especially if I talk a lot faster.
Yes. So yeah, I could probably sing something rhythmic that would help with the warrior types. I don't think it would help much with the noble though. What do I know about Fey nobles? What can I do?
Fey nobles walk the very environment around them to their will.
So what I want to become later. So
And if it's an archfey noble,
that's basically an immortal.
yeah,
Yeah. So
or an avatar of one.
from our point of view, basically the same thing.
Fake wild, I
Mm.
presume?
Yeah. What was I going to look for? So, I get the impression of Fey Noble is basically, particularly if they've got help, pretty well beyond us at the moment.
No, normal Fey nobles within your ballpark.
No, okay. They're just sort of bastards to deal with if there's only 3 of you.
Mm-hmm. A standard Fey noble is a challenge for 4 characters of your level.
And we've got a Fey Noble and 6 knights.
Mm-hmm. The 6 knights together don't even come near close to the Fey noble by itself.
No, but...
And the other factor, of course, is how much bloodshed you want to shed in the Elfine Forest.
We're going to have to deal with what we have to do.
Yep, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially after I got bleeding out of my ears.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't. Actually, I do. He was just damage he took, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Psychic damage.
Yeah. So I don't need to do remove curse or anything like that.
You may have had to if you were if you was going for another 10 rounds. But he saved.
Yeah.
Well, if I put 25 points of damage for 10 rounds, I wouldn't worry about the curse.
Yeah. Right, so the Fey Noble, I'm unlikely to be able to persuade them either. They're probably in the same semi-berserk state.
Or trying to find a way
But
out.
you're probably affected by an eldritch blast.
Well, yes.
What would be a way out for them?
For some of them, they would technically return home upon death.
Okay,
So
their aim would be to die so they could go home.
yes.
But not guaranteed to work.
No.
So, I wonder how diplomatic it will sound if Calcris goes, would you like me to try and kill you and see if that sends you home? And if it works, we'll kill the rest of you? Because you do it in absolute sincerity.
No.
Because even
With good intention.
if it sends them home, they'll probably leave a body behind.
What would that mean?
You don't know if it succeeds or not.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to look dead, whether they
We need to
survive or not.
prearrange a signal that goes through time. I have my friend Drazzle here. He has a cart.
Yeah, but the thing is, if we actually had Drazzle here,
Yeah.
we could probably actually send them home without killing them. But we don't. He's over there.
He's on the road not far away.
Mm.
Yeah. Can we survive long enough for him to get here?
Quite possibly.
Well, that actually becomes worthwhile aiming at then. I will start singing loudly and rhythmically. It's probably going to be based on a dwarven beat, because that's going to be the closest thing.
Give me a
know as
performance
song.
at disadvantage.
'Cause
Can I have my 3 tokens and they only work on me?
They only work on you.
Yeah.
How about I just use a dice at 3 because
That
I
would
don't
work.
have
My tokens have sort of moved somewhere.
No.
current dice is at 3. Does my feat
Wow.
only give advantage to me or
Does your
the feat of fortunate?
that only gives advantage to you?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I just rolled at disadvantage, and the low roll was a 16.
That's a pretty good disadvantage.
And that's on the dice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got 16 and a 19. I was quite impressed.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, that goes 26.
Which is a very good performance. You can sort of see it affecting them.
Just have to keep this
But
up.
they are a bit slower, but they haven't stopped.
Yeah. Now, the song I'm going to sing is persuading the noble. I'm going to try for this, and with a roll like that, I might actually do this. Persuade the singing a song to persuade the noble that we can help them get back to the Feywild without having to go through anything unpleasant doing so. And it's basically a rhythmic song about the Feywild. I'm actually going to, not so much a dwarven beat, it's going to be more sort of the rhythmic boom of a storm, is what I'm going to try and put into that song.
Okay. And you're doing that, and we'll see how that turns out. What is Calcrix doing now? You have Eep safely contained.
Yes,
And you never thought you'd get the resilience sphere useful at some point.
Yeah.
It has been
Hey, it's gonna be-
useful, just being debatable at times.
Yeah, it's still a useful thing.
A kind of mid-battle, I don't really want to necessarily do history, religion, arcana check, but do I know enough about the Feywild now with my knowledge of knowing Feyre and Eat to understand how we might help the Fey at least be calmer at the moment while we figure out a solution to their problem.
Okay, you get to do a nature check with a +2.
+2.
Unfortunately, not one of your best checks.
9, 11. I'm trying to figure out if I use my. At 11, should I be?
You may
rolling
as
that?
well use it.
Okay, so that makes 2. I'm gonna roll like 10 really bad things. Yeah, no, that's better. That's like a 17. But I don't know if that'll do the trick. So 15 +2.
17, you do come up with various ways of dealing with it.
Right.
Most of them involve accessing one of the trees of life, because they are directly connected to the Feywild in this region.
Right. So,
It's basically what was their gateway here.
Yeah.
And if the elves are still have even a fragment of it, it would be enough to send them home.
So does that count as my action, or do I get to cast a spell? I don't mind.
Technically, you could spend that as an action, or just say you remember that knowledge.
If I can remember that knowledge, I'm considering casting slow on them.
They seem
to give
to
us time to.
They seem to be already under the effects of a slow
Okay.
with the music.
That's
Okay.
actually a really interesting thought. If they're trying to go home to the Feywild is their natural realm, correct? Banishment will work on them.
I was going to say, would
But a slow thing to do.
It's going to be one each.
And you have to sustain it each time until they stay.
Yeah, that makes it very slow.
I was going to
Unless
say.
they're willing to fail. If they're willing to fail, they stay there.
I think they still have to wait the whole time for it to keep them there.
I'm going to check though.
So I guess
It's really
the thinking is that if I can remember that instead.
Do you have banishment?
I do have banishment.
And then you'd also think of banishment as being another option.
The question is what do I do with them right now to give us time to do this? Or to get them to drop arms to do that. So I'm thinking about, is there a way I can knock them out? Or
Well, you do
put them
think
to sleep.
if Dracnomir starts doing his drum again,
Right,
it will stop them
Yes.
while
Right.
he's playing.
right, so
But by the way,
can I then delay my action until Dracnomir does his action and tell him to stop? Or use my action to tell Dracnomir, if you play your drum, it'll give me time to cast banishment on these guys and send them back.
You could even potentially give Dracnomir obscurement from other people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because most spells don't affect things you can't see.
Okay, because I do have that. So I am I able to communicate that to him and then make him obscured? Is that blow or in? I think that might be.
The equivalent of Jazz Wings obscurement.
Yeah. So I think as long as I can communicate to Dracnomir what I'm doing, so
Yeah.
he knows, don't waste your time blasting these guys into the netherworld. Just start playing your drum, and then we'll banish the lot of them back to the Feywild, which is why they're upset anyway.
Another thing too is if we're both willing to cast this at 5th level,
Yeah.
we can affect 3 of them at once.
Once. That's right.
So that's 6 of them. We,
Okay,
we just have to then, while concentrating on that, I'd have to keep persuading the Fey Noble not to do anything to us.
If I'm allowed to, I'll
Yeah.
step in front of Dracnomir and I'll say, Dracnomir, these guys just want to go back home to the Feywild, which I think Lul and I can do with banishment. You just need time to do that. If you play your drum, it'll hypnotize them, put them into a trance, and give us the time to do that. I'm going to blur you so that they can't attack you again. Please start playing your drum. It needs to be a very precise, loud, rhythmic sound.
Yes. Absolutely regular beat.
Yes.
But yes, I think both of us doing banishment at the same time, cast as high as we can get.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I can do that too.
And you hear what sounds like a tick-tock noise coming from the forest.
Not
What
Drazzle,
does
is it?
that sound like?
It sort of sounds like a clock.
I was going to say, or a metronome.
Or a metronome. If someone else is controlling these things.
And then a stomping matching the ticking is coming in. As you see the large, well, this is now a huge Drake pulling in Drazzle's
Drazzle with these metronome.
Right.
Drazzle finally caught up to us, like you were saying.
It takes him a while to travel sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. We can still do the banishment thing.
Well, yeah, we don't want the poor creatures to suffer.
No.
As he, once he reaches the clearing, he starts ringing a bell.
Thank you, Drazzle.
I'll
As his
look at
cart does
Drazzle.
have a bell on
I'll look to Drazzle and I'll say, will it work if we banish them? Will they go back to the Feywild?
It holds up his
Yep.
finger. He's basically spent his action getting in there.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Alright, well, since he's doing his thing, then...
We'll do it anyway. The Feywild is their home plane, so yeah, we just got to maintain it for long enough for them to stay there.
I think it's Drachma's turn officially next time.
It is
so
then up to Drachma.
I don't think he's got banishment, but gosh, it would be helpful if he did.
No, he's not that high level cleric.
Oh, I've got hold person as well.
The hold person will not work on them because they're fey.
No,
You need hold monster.
it's hold person / monster. I remember you saying that.
Monster's the higher version of it.
Yeah, there's two, and you said that you would merge them to make it easier for
Basically,
you.
there's so many spells in the game that things that do the same thing should literally be enhanced versions of the spell.
Yes, there are quite a few like that.
Because that helps support the ones that are limited in the spell choices.
Yes, that's why I don't like the idea of removing make whole, because that leaves you nothing between mending and fabricate.
Okay, so does Drachnamir start playing music?
I will restart beating the drum again in time with the clockwork and the bell.
Yeah.
Which does bring you out of combat, as all three together does paralyze them again.
Yeah.
But does it paralyze the noble?
You think it does as well. The noble was only affected if more than just that was happening.
Yeah, so they needed the bell.
Because the bell is a rather specific thing for the higher ones.
Yeah. Yes.
Drazzle does suggest you use his cart to do your banishment.
Yep. I presume we'll send the noble first.
As a arcane focus, or
He has
Or just to send them back.
oh, that's right.
Open the door.
I don't need a ritual.
His circle enhances banishments.
Yeah, okay. In that case, yes,
Um,
definitely. Thank you very
So
much.
we'll send the noble first, because it's the highest
Well,
ranked.
How much does it enhance a banishment?
You don't have to concentrate.
That has its uses.
That's what you use ritual circles for. To bring things or dismiss things.
I want this for me. I want one of my own. Very much.
Yeah, we all
Anyway.
want Drazzle's cart. Will we get it? Hell no.
No, not just. I just want the circle. Especially if I can do faster rituals with it. The
As
thing
you
is with
see,
that, I can do. Well, sorry. If both of us cast one banishment that gets rid of the troopies, I can do a second one for the noble. And I think I can't remember if my ruling stats higher than yours. I'm thinking of the DC for the save. Because it is a charisma
sure
save.
yours are. My charisma, I think, is up on the screen.
Your charisma one is plus 10.
Well, yeah. So
Okay,
what's
yeah.
your spell save?
The spell save, I'm not sure what the spell save is.
I was going to say, Martin.
I haven't got it on that one. I haven't
Okay.
fully done that.
Yeah.
It'll be on your print-off sheet at the top of your spell book.
It's
Oh,
your
is it at the bottom of my spellbook?
yeah.
Should be on the
It's
first page of the
11
spell book.
plus your proficiency
Oh, good.
plus your stat modifier plus any magic from your weapon.
Okay.
From your magic.
Technically, I don't think it's there, so I'll go and have a look and see if I can.
Yeah.
Might be a separate sheet.
Well, proficiency is 4, which is 15. What's your casting stat modifier?
I don't think he's put it on.
The casting stat modifier is charisma, so it's plus 6 with the plus
Yeah.
4, so it's
Yeah.
plus 10 to
10.
the base DC of 8. Because that's the base DC for 5th ed things, so that makes it a DC of 18.
Yeah. Is that high enough?
That's fairly high. Most,
Yeah.
It would work for
I'm
most
going
of
to get
them.
you to teach me how to do that math because I don't understand how the formula works. I can never figure it out.
I have to check to see if they've changed the DC for this version.
Yeah.
Well, that was the old 5th ed version of things that I know most of those off by heart.
Yeah.
So
I will check actually.
You do recognize in the floor of the cart the 5 runes of spheres.
Yeah.
That he pinched from Francia.
Francia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they met Francians there.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the name the party coined to the place.
Yes. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
it?
they were saying it's France, so well, sort of France. Anyway.
I was going to say, is it familiar to Calcrix? Or?
Calcrix was not part of them.
Yeah.
You didn't travel to another world
No,
and
you
see
No.
what happens if Thanatos wins.
Mm.
No, I don't want to see what happens if Thanatos wins anyway, so. We could do. Alright, so, does that mean, do we need to do rolls for the 3 banishments?
Technically, as long as you put them in there and cast your spell,
Yep, they work.
They work.
Okay.
Especially if you use a spell slot, they automatically work.
Yep, alright, well, I presume we can do that. So banishment says that you can use it at higher levels?
You can use it at higher levels.
So I only need to do 1, so I can expend a 5th level spell slot for that. If that's high enough. But I'm prepared to use a 6th level one if that's required. You're looking up the main rulebook. Is that the really thick one? I don't see it on the table.
Oh, I see here.
Oh yeah, you've got your mic and everything on it.
It's what happens when you have so many things, you're not sure where you're putting everything.
Yes.
I was hoping with the Kingdom rules with Jeremy on the weekend, which is why we were practicing, seeing how well we could put together his realm. Banishment normally at 4th level, so
yeah. But I've expended my 4th level slot.
banishment increases by random.
So if I cast it at 5th or 6th, it'll be.
It doesn't give it extra people, it just increases the time that they're away for.
Yeah.
Right, early late class. Yeah.
I do mine at 5th level just because I've got to.
So technically, as soon as you send them back to the native thing, you don't have to concentrate.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
You only have to concentrate on creatures that are
native to here. Yeah, and if they go back home, a minute later they'll pop
No,
back.
no, they
Not
don't
with
pop back at
this.
all.
No.
Because of his
Yeah.
portal.
Yes, because of what he's doing.
Yeah. His cart enables it to.
So normally you'd have to concentrate for the whole banishment
Whole
time,
minute,
but then
yeah.
to stay there.
Yes.
This one is just, it's done.
Yeah.
So that's the ritual enhancement of his thing, is it doesn't require concentration to maintain.
Because he has all the cool stuff.
He's got an artifact that he rides around.
Well, if you have to.
Well,
If you can build an artifact that you can also ride around on, would you not do this?
that's very true.
Most people build weapons, he builds a transportation device.
That allows him to zoom through time and cast rituals at stupid power bonuses.
He doesn't do it all himself.
No.
Last time you saw him use a ritual, he actually didn't have it embedded in anything.
Yeah.
So yes.
But
Right.
yes. Just that ritual circle as an item would be an artifact. Or legendary, sorry. Minimum.
So we sent them.
You managed to send them all home.
I still want more.
Last time.
And you stopped the music just in time for Eep to appear out of the sphere.
Sphere, yeah.
And Eep sort of looks embarrassed.
It's okay, I give Eve a cookie. give her lots of pats and cuddles. And then I'll get the little Drachnema plushie and I'll wave it in front of her and get it to bop her nose. Just to...
And he's more than happy to play plush toy bopping, especially if Drachnema's involved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even though he's over there going, you what?
I'm sure Drachnema's just like shaking his head and then walking away.
At least you didn't.
Oh no, it's still drumming.
No, you don't want to still be drumming, otherwise Eep's going to go huge and go after you. So I will indicate once these guys are banished that you can stop.
Oh good.
Yes.
It was an interesting read in the notes for Level Up that they have this thing on fairies.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of their side drawbacks.
Yeah.
Also works on demons.
Mm. Yes.
But it has to be repetitive.
Yes. And basically it's, hi, here's a reason of a bard nearby.
Unless you've got a wizard who happens to know how to sing.
Though you probably won't have many bards who want to play a repetitive note.
That or die? Pick one.
I've met a few who would say they'd rather die.
Actually, having listened to a band who's done exactly that, one of Highland's early pieces, the singer, the lead singer, she's actually the person who formed the band, she is tapping, it's actually two bumps, tapping them together, and it's tap, 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 tap. Absolutely metronome solid for an 8-minute song.
Hard to do.
That's hyper-focus right there.
Bloody, yeah, it's quite obvious she's got at least an amount of OCD. And possibly, well, people with OCD often have ADHD as well.
So it seems that with your skill with the Fae, you have managed to successfully navigate yourself through what would have been a rather
unpleasant combat.
very unpleasant, yes.
On the other hand, think of the loot.
Do we get the loot anyway?
No,
technically they're
because
gone home?
they go home with what they carry.
Oh, okay. No loot there.
Yes.
And plus,
Sad
the
face.
last thing you want to do is steal a Fey Lord's sword.
Oh, I didn't want to steal it. I earn it.
No, he would have to give it to you as a gift. At which point you would
If
have
I ever take loot, it's well earned with blood and pain.
And that's the thing. In this case, it would have to have been given as a gift. At which point you would have an obligation to a Fey Lord who's not particularly sane and you don't know.
Yeah, no, Galbraith is not serious. She doesn't.
And not stupid.
So yes, you have successfully
You
done
only
that.
loot when you're playing pirate.
And it is 10:30 at the moment.
Yes.
Because I know most of you have work in the morning and I didn't want to keep you too late.
That's fair. Cool.
And so yes, you have run right into what would have been a horrifying encounter, except the fact you knew how to get out of it.
Yes.
And you had the tools.
Yes.
You didn't technically need Drazzle, he just showed up to help at the end.
Yes.
That's what he usually does because he believes that we need to overcome these things ourselves, otherwise we will never learn or earn what we need to know.
And it's no fun.
Oh.
For him.
Jack him on the lunch again, go mine Calcreek. Don't run off into the forest.
Calcreeks will give you a very earnest, it wasn't my fault this time, the Fae were singing. They did sing and they made me go.
They either come here a song.
She'll even do a wobble lip. Because it really wasn't her fault this time.
Which is impressive on something with a head this big.
But she'll look suitably abashed and kind of stuff her foot in the dirt. And
Well, that guy.
I'll try not to.
Jack is not really concerned. He recognised that it wasn't her fault.
Much.
Look, entirely her weakness and her flaw to chase up after things. So It's entirely possible that even if she had succeeded, she would have run off anyway.
Shiny thing!
Because I think technically she succeeded one of her rolls once a long time ago, but she ran off anyway because
It was
it was
interesting.
her flaw.
Yeah. Actually, not so much shiny thing, cute thing.
Yeah,
Fluffy.
cute is more dangerous than shiny. In the case of both Calprix and Ink.
Dire Palace Cat.
Yeah, we could be in trouble.
Saber-tooth cat.
But thankfully,
Saber Palace Cat.
Dragna was
The reason
there to
the
wake her
palace
up,
cats, they look cute.
and Lul reminded us how to deal with the Fae.
Hmm.
So together we made it through.
Yes.
And between the two of you, you figured out about banishment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you know I did.
And you didn't have to trouble the elves with it, because they might have been upset. Because they might have lost part of their tree.
Yeah, the life tree. If we
Yes.
sent them through the life tree, that could have been problematic.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, so banishment's a really good solution.
Yes.
I just didn't realise banishment could be used in such a positive way. So
Oh.
there you go.
Yes.
Banishment doesn't always have to be bad.
But it's also the
Sometimes
timeout
people
spell.
want to be
Yes.
sent home.
Yeah, it's the timeout spell. This is the combat use. It's the
Yeah.
timeout spells.
Yeah.
Bang. As long as I'm concentrating, you're out for a minute.
Yeah. You get to
Because-
sit in the corner and think
because you-
about what you're doing.
Because you don't even get to save because you're insensible.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who's not actually from here just goes home.
I'm pretty sure next time Calprix casts banishment, she's going to do exactly that. She's going to
Yeah.
you sit in the corner and think about what you're doing.
And they don't.
And they'll probably find themselves sitting in front of one of the great dragon gods and
Yeah.
having to
Actually-
explain themselves.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she totally. If
Actually-
that was possible,
That
she'd
would
go
be,
down with that.
that would be an amusing variant of the spell to learn. It doesn't make you insensible. It forces you to meditate
Yep.
for the duration.
Requires
you've got to-
actual meaningful self-reflection.
No, not even
Go
require
home and
it.
rethink your life.
Straight out forces.
Yeah.
You won't let you do anything else. You are functionally insensible, but you've just spent a minute.
Need to
thinking
get the
hard about
wording
your
down to
choices.
that so I can
Yes.
I can make a Star Wars quote in Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, did you
And
Yeah.
go, Jeremy?
Jacknim will cast Cure Wounds on himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You'll need
you're
it.
gonna need to get that 20 damage
So
fixed.
I can get back 15.
Yeah.
Okay, did you want to add anything before I go to end credits?
I'm good.
Okay, I'll put it on end credits then.